Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Tech Life Weekly on BizChicks TV. I'm here with my friend and colleague, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. I'm Terralina from California Cover Ups, and we're the BizChicks. Every Friday, we come in here and try to give you information that is easy to understand about what is happening in the world of tech so that you can digest it and use it effectively for your business and for your lifestyle. So today we're going to get started with this week in tech history, right?
Yep, that is correct.
Ah, and we're going to have that right now from Francine Gregory. Fran, what
Woo.
you
Well, so today in tech history, we're going to be talking about tech in history and tech that's making history. So far, let me see how far I want to go back.
mm.
Anybody remember Windows 3.0?
Ooh.
Yeah, that was actually a good operating system. It
What?
worked well,
Go
and
ahead.
then they decided they wanted to, make changes, but it anyway, April 6, 1992, Microsoft releases Windows 3.1, and it cost $149. They sold 3 million copies in 2 months.
Mm.
They added multimedia extensions, allowing support for sound cards, MIDI, and CD audio, Super VGA, 800 by 600. Um, Monitors and increase the speed of the modem, and it would support uh, up to 9600 BPS. For many that were into computers back in the day, it was the first version of Windows that people actually used, as previous versions were still gaining consumer acceptance, and Windows 95 wasn't released until 3 years later. And that was 92. Like, wow. So April 7th, 1964, IBM launches the System 360 mainframe architecture, which comprised of 6 compatible models complete with 40 peripherals. The line was dubbed 360 because it addressed all types and sizes of customer, all types and sizes of customer. It cost IBM over $5 billion to develop it. And that is considered one of the riskiest business gambles of all. Up until this time, computer systems, even from the same manufacturer, were generally incompatible with each other. So softwares and peripherals from old systems would not work in the new systems. This stifled acceptance and deployments of new systems as business customers were hesitant to lose their investments in their current systems. So you already got something that's working, and then they want you to try something new that may not work with what you already have working. Sound familiar?
Yes,
Terry,
not compatible.
right, not compatible. So, IBM's gamble paid off handsomely, as just in the first 3 months of its release, IBM would receive $1.2 billion in orders. Within
Mm.
5 years, over 33,000 units will be sold, popularizing the concept of a computer upgrade around the world. The 360 family was the most successful IBM system of all time, generating over $1 billion in revenue through the mid 80s. It became the basis for all subsequent IBM mainframe architectures, which would hold a 65% market share in the 1990s. It also introduced a number of industry standards to the marketplace, such as the worldwide standard of the 8-bit byte. Its enormous popularity catapulted the business world into the technology age, and transformed the computer industry. The thing was huge too.
Hmm.
And it was a system. So System 360. And, like we always talk about, it starts somewhere, right?
Yes. Do not despise small beginnings.
Not at all. Let's see. Trying to keep this stuff really relevant. April 8th, 1983, John Sculley is named the president and CEO of Apple Computers
Hmm.
after Steve Jobs convinced him to leave his position as president of PepsiCo. While Steve Jobs wanted the position of president for himself, the then CEO Mike Markula did not think Jobs was ready to take on that responsibility. Jobs wanted Scully based on his success at growing Pepsi's market share against Coke. And he wanted that same type of marketing success for Apple against IBM. Okay. Ultimately, Scully and Jobs entered into a power struggle, and Scully convinced Apple's board of directors to strip Jobs of all power within the company, and Jobs left Apple.
Mm. Wow.
Um,
Mark is talking about his first PC.
uh, right. Let's see. So the author of this
Oh, sorry.
post says,
Hmm.
um, what would have been different if Steve Jobs had been given the lead of his company in '83 instead of Apple opting for the adult supervision? That was the thing. They wanted somebody that was more adult. So remember, Steve Jobs was really young at the time, but
Hmm.
he
And
was
more
innovative. Go ahead.
and inexperienced at business and stock. And
Right.
yeah.
But the people who were experienced at stock and whatever didn't work out so well, did that?
No, because there was a new train of thought. Oh, let's make this user friendly.
And the older people, well, the people they were looking to for adult supervision, um, that didn't work out way because they needed each other, is what I'm thinking. They couldn't, you know what I
I'm
mean?
thinking the
Steve
same
Jobs
thing.
needed
It's like a
some,
family. You need
right?
you need mom and dad, but you need the kids because they're doing the flips on the skateboards and doing new stuff.
They're doing the new stuff, and then you can advise or whatever. And it was his company. It wasn't like, well, then it becomes shareholders company or whatever, but still.
Okay,
Um,
let me read this comment from Mark.
Go
He
ahead.
says, "My first PC was IBM. It was the the size of a small car. Fun fact, I worked at IBM for a time. Worst work experience of my life. Horrible management. Never even included it on my resume. I feel
Oh
you,
wow.
Mark. He said, just skip it with all of that. Wow. Okay.
So recent history with companies such as Facebook, Google, and even Apple since Jobs' return has shown that visionaries can make great leaders of technology companies. You just need to give them something to work with.
And be open to a new approach.
Right. So, in the world of space, April 9th, 1959, NASA announces the selection of the United States' first 7 astronauts. Can anybody name them? Okay. They are Scott Carpenter, Gordon Cooper, John Glenn, Gus Grissom, Wally Schirra, Alan Shepard, and Donald Slayton.
Oh, see, I would
The
have said
seven,
Carpenter was in there, but he's not. Okay.
Scott Carpenter.
Oh, okay.
Mhm. The
Good
7 were
morning.
chosen from 110 applicants to participate in the Mercury program, the
Mm-hmm.
nation's first manned space program. The news media quickly dubs the group the Mercury 7. On May 5th, 1961, Shepard will become the first American in space during the flight of Freedom 7. And you know, our girls from Hidden Figures was working on that Mercury situation.
On those trajectories and yeah, getting him
Mhm.
back.
Yeah, help them get back to the planet. Yeah. April 10th, 1943, researchers at the University of Pennsylvania began work on the electronic numerical integrator and computer. ENIAC, which when completed will become the first general purpose fully electronic computer capable of making calculations 1,000 times faster than any other prior computer. The work will be carried out in secret since the computer is intended for military purposes, though it won't actually be completed until after World War II ended.
Mm.
ENIAC will be unveiled to the public in February of 1946. So that's when a lot of stuff was happening in the world.
Mark, you are amazing. Listen to this. He says, my dad worked for NASA during the Apollo 11 days. He had amazing photos from the moon and some models of the
Wow.
rockets. Mm-hmm.
So with that, continuing on in the space um, theme, the first vertical jet flies. The Ryan X-13 Vertijet makes its first vertical takeoff and landing
Mm-hmm.
April 11th, 1957. It marks the first time a jet-powered aircraft successfully completed a VTOL flight, meaning a vertical
Mm-hmm.
takeoff. Militaries around the world at the same time were experiencing with the concept of VTOL as a way of having aircraft that could take off and land from areas with no runway. While the X-13 was tested successfully, the program was canceled after only 2 years.
Mm.
Sounds like Google. The
Mhm.
X-13 concept proved unfeasible for the United States military due to a variety of issues, including payload and range capabilities. I just don't think they worked on it long enough
Mm.
because now we have vehicles that are coming up now that are vertical. The taxis and things that they're thinking about.
Helicopters have been doing it.
Oh, yes, helicopters, yes, but this is like a jet, and
Mhm.
they're coming around with them.
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
April
Air
11th,
taxis.
1985. Almost exactly 2 years after joining Apple, John Sculley asked Steve Jobs to step down as the head of Macintosh division at an Apple computer board meeting. With the backing of the company's other executive, Jobs is stripped of his nearly all responsibility at Apple. While he retained the title of chairman, he has no authority and eventually leaves Apple. And and after that, Apple went down, way down. So I want to talk about some tech that's making history, and this is going to help us put a label on it. You know the labels that are on your food when you go to the grocery store, telling you how many calories and how much
Oh,
sugar and
yes.
sodium and all of
Mhm.
that. Well, as of Wednesday, that was yesterday, shoppers will see the fact sheets that look like nutrition labels wherever internet plans are sold, making it easier to understand the details and the cost of each plan. So, under new federal or FCC rules that just took effect, internet service providers must prominently display the labels at all points of sale, including in store and online.
So I'm not sure what this means.
So, like
Um,
when you go buy some internet service, Xfinity, T-Mobile, Verizon, whoever, Spectrum, all of them, they have to put a label on, just like the label you see for nutritional facts,
Yes.
broadband facts. How fast is it? What's the upload
Oh.
speed? What's the download speed? They have to put that on there for you.
Oh,
The
interesting.
FCC borrows the nutrition label model format from food products because we wanted to make basic, this is the guy talking, he said, we wanted to make basic information about broadband internet service easily recognizable and easy to understand. And this is Alejandro Rourke, who is the chief of the FCC Consumer and Governmental Affairs Bureau. Y'all need to make your name easier. And this is what he told reporters in a press call. He emphasized that the labels can't be condensed into a single link or hidden away on a website. And along with requiring information about pricing, introductory rates, data allowances, and performance metrics, all for all standalone fixed and mobile broadband service offerings, a separate label must be displayed for each standalone broadband service offered. It cannot be buried in multiple clicks or reduced to a link or a thumbnail or an icon that a consumer might miss. So, if you've ever wanted to go to go get something from Xfinity, for example, they have to show you what's the upload speed, what's the download speed, how much it's going to cost you, or like Xfinity is notorious for doing this. The plan for the year starts out at $49 a month. But at the end of that year, it's going to bump up to another price point. So they have to explain all that
In easy
in
to
the label.
understand terms.
Right, in the label. You can't just, because I've experienced where, okay, so you're humming along and okay, so April 24th or whatever, the thing dials in and then the price, all of a sudden your internet goes up and you're like, why is my bill higher? Well, because the introductory price expired.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But they didn't call you and tell you that the introductory price expired.
No.
They just clicked you over to the new price that wasn't introductory anymore. They have to provide information about pricing, introductory rates, data allowances, like you can only use so much data and then it'll be slowed down. All of this has to be plainly put. Yes, for throttling or whatever, it has to be prominently displayed like the label that you get on your food.
Okay, well, Mark says next tackle the terms of service. Nobody got time for that. For real.
Right. And just make it okay. The terms of services, that's like reading a book.
And it's in legalese. It's designed
Yes.
not to provide the information you need for
Right.
you to make a
So
good decision.
that story is over on Tech Brew. If you'd like to read it in detail, I can show you a picture. Oh, they just made up one. This is not
Well,
necessarily the
what they
actual
think it'll
one.
probably look like.
Right. So let me, just so you'll know, because I don't know if what we're talking about. Okay. Nutrition facts. Shopping for internet service, new nutrition facts could simplify the process. You major ISPs must display the labels as of this week. Normally, do you know how they tell you it's gonna roll out or whatever? They're like, no, put it up now.
Well, that's
And
because
it
they don't have
says,
to print anything. They don't,
Well, they have to put this out. So this monthly price is an introductory rate. Yes. The time the introductory rate applies, 12 months, monthly price after the introductory rate. Oh, so this is explaining to you right up front, not in a sentence, what's happening.
It's a list. Thank you.
In speech provided with the plan. That is so helpful. Data included with the monthly price. What? Wow. And who to call if you got issues. This is good.
Mm.
So I think this is tech making history. And this was Wednesday, April 10th, that this went into effect.
Wow. Yes,
And
that is the Terry Johnson.
Mhm. And that is
Mark,
go ahead.
What was that?
Mark wanted to know, is that the Terry Johnson? And I
Oh,
said, yes, it is
yeah,
the
hey.
Terry Johnson.
Who else would it be?
I don't know. Somebody
that is
perpetrating. We want to make sure you weren't AI. Go ahead.
I was just going
Oh,
to say, that is your week in tech history and tech making history.
Mark, are you talking about my cat post on Facebook?
Thank you. Oh my goodness. All righty. Well, I have just one or two things I want to share with you. You know, I always like to talk about innovations in medicine and
Yes.
tech. So I found a little video over here that I thought was captivating, and I wanted to share with you guys. Hold on a minute. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Good morning, Maureen and Mark.
Here we are. Let's see. See if I can get this started.
Center since December.
I'm what you call high flow air. And because of that, I can't sustain myself at home.
A dedicated team of doctors and nurses attend to him day and night. But that's not all. Sensors and cameras track Dieter's every move in this smart intensive care unit, from vital signs to facial expressions and everything in between.
Every place in this room will sensing something about you. Is this enough light? Is this enough noise? Are you okay? You know, are you moving enough? Are you in your bed? Are you out of the bed? I think that's the future of how we will design hospital.
More than 350 gigabytes of information per patient goes into a central computer, where artificial intelligence then processes the data.
We could look at the patient and go, they're moving a lot. There's something going on there, or their face has a certain grimace to it that they normally don't have. Is it possible that it could tell you before I even know that I'm having problems?
Yes, 100%. We will be able to decipher complex features, complex emotions like agitation or hunger.
Funded by the National Institutes of Health, the high-tech experiment enters its third year. Researchers are still teaching the technology what certain actions like sitting and standing might indicate. The hope that AI will soon be able to provide real-time healthcare recommendations.
Nurses, doctors, we spend a considerable amount of time paperwork, translating the data we get.
You will actually have a representation of the data in a way that you as a human can just understand and action.
But will this new technology replace the need for humans in the hospital altogether?
They are very simplistic models compared to what our brains are doing. And I don't think that we should be worried about humans being replaced anytime soon.
That this technology does take big burden off the physicians and nurses and provide them time to actually engage what we are here for, taking care of the patients.
A new holistic approach to healthcare where humans and computers work hand in hand. Dr. John Torres, NBC News, Gainesville, Florida.
Wow.
That's really good.
I thought it was interesting how they mapped the whole body.
Well, I remember that they did that with a video game.
Mm-hmm.
We reported a long time ago, where I think it was Xbox, where it scanned your whole body and said, "Are you feeling okay today?" And I'm like, "What the?" But it scanned the facial expressions, And, I think people were not quite ready for it. And by the way, that was AI back over 10 years ago. But it did the same thing, scanned you and was trying to feel, are you feeling okay? You don't seem yourself or whatever. And it was doing that. Now it's doing it here. And one of my Mark says it's all good until you're hacked and you get a heart transplant when you went in for a tonsillectomy.
Well, see, let's think about it, because I'm glad that Mark brought, it was a joke, but a lot of people have issues with AI in this respect, as we should. But just remember that AI is not going to take the human component out of it. It's going to take the science and math component out of everything. If healthcare is science and math, a lot of things are science and math.
Yes.
So just remember, and I always bring this up to people, we had to learn the multiplication tables as a kid. It was drilled into me. I remember that. My daughter went to school, they didn't do that because they had phones. And 85 times 137, it's not something that you have to keep in your head. So that makes room for other creative things, what they're calling soft skills now, that employees are looking for. So anything that's science. And another story that I always remember, that IBM years ago, it was a while back, we talked about IBM having some kind of machine that instead of having a bunch of the resident interns, medical students look up things in a book, they went to this computer. Do you remember that? It's been a while.
Right.
But that's what it's going to. So because when they have a case and they're like, well, what's the background? What's this? They would send a team of interns to the medical library and they would get all the books. And they don't do that anymore. They have AI because it's looking up factual stuff. Looking up math rules, 1 + 1 = 2. Those are things that are going to be taken out. So where the human person can create on top of the fact. And AI is going to give us the fact, the math.
I saw that commercial today, Watson X. Watson will
I think that was it, right? Watson.
Yeah, Watson, but this is Watson X. And it said that it will do, you can trust the AI information you pull from Watson more than just some random stuff, because the AI is going to pull it, but is the source that they're pulling it from accurate? And
the trusted source.
Right. So Watson is the trusted source. They're putting themselves, IBM is putting Watson X as the trusted source.
Right.
And then movie, there was a movie, well, not a movie, a series, something about humans, where these people had bots, right? And then the bots was created, and the bots can do stuff, take you to, get your groceries, take the kids to school, blah, 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 blah. And this one bot, she was in, they had her in a medical facility, and the kid had some type of disease, and she knew exactly how to, the other people had failed at trying to do that particular procedure, and she knew how to do the procedure without killing the child. And she had also diagnosed something. There was something that happened to one of the children on a field trip or something, and she sensed, looking at his pupils and that this was happening, and got the boy to medical help before, and was able to save his life.
And then another thing, we talk, it's entertainment, but Star Trek. The more recent ones, the doctor had a thing and they would scan with the thing. Well, you think that's AI, that they have put all of a human body has this. So those are facts that you can take out of a human brain, because we don't need that. The thing scans it, and then we go, oh, like Fran said, the diagnose based on blah 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 blah, but it's going to be trusted sources like IBM, because they've been doing AI for a long time. So that's why you can trust, and there's going to be some kind of safeguard built in, because when it comes to healthcare, it's not, the doctor's not just going to go, oh, the AI says, and that we already know that, okay, instead of 1,000 probabilities of what this might be, a doctor can throw it through AI and say, well, instead of 1,000 is 50. And then whittle it down from there based on their knowledge and skills. That's how it works. It's going to be like a partnership, not just we just throw it at AI, and that doesn't work. Can't work.
Right. And Fred says, we are living in the whiz. AI is the great whiz. Richard Pryor flashing lights and yelling through a microphone. And then he said, we had info jammed into our heads, which sparked the mind, hence creativity. Creativity or soft skills are missing in minds today because the minds have not been stimulated like our minds were.
Exactly. Fred is absolutely correct. That's why the education system in the U.S. has to change, because they're teaching it on facts and tests. And it's based on a schedule of the kids worked in the farms, and they had to, all of that has to change, because AI has come to change and take the fact out of it based on IBM or whatever. It'll be more factual. And then they have to learn soft skills. I was reading about that this week, and because I was on a forum and somebody was complaining about finding a job and this and that. And they were saying, oh, you got to go get a STEM. I was like, no. AI is going to take care of all of that. So you're going to have to figure out creativity and soft skills, which they don't teach in school. They teach the kid to sit down there and take the test, and this is this and this is that and that. And I'm like, well, that's not teaching kids to live in the 22nd century or whatever coming. That's not, that mindset doesn't help them, because you're teaching them facts and figures when the machine can do that. And whoever says that that's not true, remember a time when there wasn't a calculator. I remember.
Well, as far as the soft skills, I can see what the problem is too. I mean, you took art out, you took music out, you took gym out, you took anything that would stimulate the brain. You know what I mean? You took metal shop out.
Because they want to teach that. And I'm not putting teachers down. It's not the teachers. The teachers
they don't form the curriculum.
Yeah, they have to do what they're told. I'm talking about the education system from the top. It has to be redone. And then you get into each state and each city, and wherever you live, there's a school board. So you got to talk to all of those people and tell them, listen, stop teaching the tests and facts and figures. Get these kids critical thinking.
And Fred said there are articles where tech folks in Silicon Valley have their children in old school rooms with chalkboards, wooden desks, and chairs. And he said, we had an abacus in classrooms. He said, wow, I'm old.
You know why the children of the tech billionaires do not own phones? Ask yourself. And then Fred says they're going to school, wooden desks, chalkboard. You would think the children of tech billionaires would go and be school like the Jetsons, because that doesn't stimulate creativity, and they know that.
Because when you have answers given to you all the time, why were you needing to think? You don't have to think. And some people, you got to help them think their way out of a paper bag.
What did we say this week? A confused mind doesn't buy. A confused mind doesn't do anything.
Will not make a decision.
Paper and pencil, chalk. Here you go. And they teach them little kids. They have to start when they're little babies, not when they're like teenagers, because the teenager's going to be like, where's my phone? Because they're used to it. The same thing with getting your kid to eat vegetables. I remember this clearly when my daughter was little and we went to the park and she was eating because I cut up the carrots and I cut up the celery sticks, and the moms was like, oh, how do you get her to eat the carrots? And I was like, because that's what I give her. I don't give her Cheetos and soda.
Oh my gosh. So you have the orange stuff on their hands plus the red Kool-Aid and the others, and want to know why these kids are not functioning.
I remember a while back, there was one when I was still working downtown, I was on the subway, and I was like, why is this young girl giving her child Cheetos and orange grape soda? And it was like 8 o'clock in the morning. And the little kid in a little stroller. And she's giving him I was like, no, you can't do that. You have to
be quiet, Terry. It's damn delicious. That's why she gave it to her. You be quiet.
it's very easy to cut up some cat. It's I don't know what the problem is, but I just remember that at the part that they thought I was like an alien. Like, how'd you get your daughter to eat? Because that's what I give her. Duh, she's a baby. I get to decide what it is.
They used to talk about me because I would not let nobody give my kids candy. I'm like, no, you don't have to go home with them. No, you will not give
my daughter soda. She's gonna be like, "Where's the water?" But that's what I'm just saying, that it's not hard to do that. You have to prepare. Thing with baby food, you always read these stories about baby food that have things in it, and they have to shut it down and recall. Some potatoes, boil them, and there's your kid's dinner. Carrots, boil them, mash them up. There's your kid. It's really easy, but we're so invested in the life of McDonald's and stuff. And McDonald's is fine. I'm not putting it down. That's a treat. When I was a kid, McDonald's was a treat. It was not everyday thing. It was like, I had to beg for that. What?
Can we go to McDonald's? And we were singing songs and like, we're going to McDonald's. Okay.
I went to church. I'm like, I'm going to church because after church we go to McDonald's.
And if you remember, the portion size at McDonald's used to be a lot smaller. So what is now a medium fry was the large back then.
Right.
When my mother, when we did have the treat, she would divvy it up between my sister and myself and her. So we were sharing that small, large fry.
Yes. But I'm not putting parents down. I'm just saying that if you want your kids to eat, don't come to me and say, how'd you do that? Like it's a miracle. Oh, no. Carrots in a bag, clean them and cut them.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out how we got from scanning people's bodies to nutrition. Are we going to talk about what's in those Lunchables?
No, that's because the segue was that we're not teaching the kids the way they need to be taught. Right. And that's how we segue there.
The tech billionaires send their children.
They do different stuff.
They go to the little red schoolhouse, like over in the little house on the prairie.
Right. Yeah. And Fred said, my grandmother always told me if I get too close to the TV, I would go blind. Yep. The TVs today are the phones, tablets, AI, and more. People are blind. And they wasn't talking about physically blind.
Right. But all I'm saying is it's an effort. Nutrition, tech, whatever. On the weekends, I try not to do anything tech unless it's, client work or something. But other than that, I'm like, I'm not on unless I happen to pick up my phone and glance and something pops up. And then I, like the AI, Sam Altman AI thing that happened that weekend in November. But otherwise, I'm not there. So
Mark said, I just had a horrifying flashback when you had to go to the blackboard to solve the algebra problem.
Oh my God.
Terrible.
I got flashbacks. Thank you, Mark.
But you thought your way through it, right? You figured out some stuff. It's like, okay, those are skills that you learn how to be bold, how to stand up in front of the classroom.
They have smart boards now. What is a blackboard? They don't even know what that is, but the tech kids do. The kids of the tech billionaires do.
Fred said McDonald's is the cornerstone of the family and dining together. Sarcasm. Now they're selling Krispy Kreme.
Yeah,
Shut up.
I heard that. Yeah. McDonald's is now going to sell Krispy Kremes, as if you don't already have enough artery clogging, diabetes spurring foods out of there anyway.
I had Krispy Kreme a week or so. I was like, I don't like it. It's not the Krispy Kreme when I was a kid. It's not they did something to it. I'm like, it tastes different to me. So I'm like,
okay, ladies, wait a minute. If we're going down a rabbit hole, I got another rabbit hole for you. Okay.
I like rabbit hole.
Okay.
Krispy Kreme.
This is all about Instagram.
Okay.
And their effort to allegedly prevent, what they call it, sex offenders from connecting with kids. They've come up with this app. Let me see if it's it's a visual that's supposed to allow kids, send them a warning. See, photos may contain nudity, and then allow them to decline the message. And allegedly, this is their effort to prevent people from sexting and kids receiving unwanted images.
Okay, so let me ask this question. What 14-year-old is going to say block it?
I don't know.
Okay.
Instagram will start testing new tools within weeks to fight sextortion, a form of blackmail involving intimate pictures sent online. In other words, you know, I send you a picture and then you send me your picture, and then I threaten to share your picture all over the place. Okay.
Well, if you wouldn't put it out there in the first place, it wouldn't be here.
Okay, well, yeah, but you know, you're 14, you think you're in love, whatever. Governments around the world have warned of the increasing threat to young people for sextortion. Okay, thoughts?
This is going to segue into TJ. So, TJ, we can just let you segue right on into social media news this week.
Okay, we can do that. I'll start with that story. Let me
because I was like, why? And it's unfortunate that we have to trust Instagram or any other platform to monitor our kids or to.
Well, this gets into the parent thing that I always bring up. Like, I'll say this, that the complaint on this story was that Instagram does not go far enough. How you like that?
But why are we depending on a company that has that was not their MO going into business?
It goes back to the thing where Mark Zuckerberg was the last time he was called in front of Congress, and they put the pictures of the dead children, and they told him he had to apologize for the dead children. Why?
Because they had committed suicide behind this.
Is he their parent? Is he the parent of all of those children? No.
No. And the parents are the ones who bought the phone, allowed them to put Instagram on the phone. The responsibility issue is,
would you buy a gun and here's your gun? I hate to put it that way. And just there was the two parents that just they're going to prison because their son had a gun and went to I forgot what school it was. There's so many. The parent they're the two first parents to go to prison for their son's actions because I don't know the whole details. I just saw the story.
As they should.
Yeah. So
Fred said tech parenting, the phone and the devices hold the hands of children more than some parents do.
You know, here's the thing. Parenting is hard.
Thank you.
And this is not an excuse at all because
but it is hard.
It is hard.
It's very difficult. And it is not like I think we're still stuck on the years ago. Well, we have to remember everybody has to work now. And there are some people that have to work more than one job. And so by the time you come, and let's even look at like immigrant families, for example, everybody, but then you look at immigrant families and this is a huge thing. So you're looking at that coupled with the fact that you have these children that you cannot be in charge of 24 hours a day. So half of the time they're in school. And if it starts with home training at home, but you know how some kids go buck wild once they get out of sight. And so I'm not trying to say that there is little control that you have, because you do have some control. But if it were that easy, then there would be no children doing bad things. Let's be clear. On top of the fact that parenting is hard, and you as a parent are doing what you know, which in some cases is not enough. In many cases, they're doing what they know and they're trying to prepare and arm their children. I shouldn't say arm, that's terrible. Or give their children the tools for tomorrow, to succeed tomorrow, which includes technology, which includes all of these things. So if you're not watching them 24 hours a day, they're going to get curious and venture into other areas that they may not they're not supposed to be.
Right.
You can talk to your blue in the face. Look at how many hard-headed children that you tell them not to do something and they still do it. You punish them for doing something and they still sneak out. So
and who is going to count? Who's going to keep the inventory on the cookie jar?
But wasn't there something, a story about they're trying to teach the technology responsibility in school? I think, Terlina, did you bring that up? Like there was a story about them trying to have a class or a course about teaching them technology, about
to be responsible.
To be responsible. And I don't remember hearing something about that. But again,
it was me. I think I talked about them using it responsibly in the classroom.
Right. I think there's a concept that some schools is trying.
Some schools have them put it in the pocket.
The curriculum.
Mm-hmm. No, they have to check the phone in before the class starts.
Oh, no. I know we have that. We've had that for a long time. I mean, like a class on tech responsibility. Like, this is real. This is not. This is what you should do. The do's and don'ts.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I think we talked about that.
Fred has a couple of good comments here. He said, parenting, the etymology of the word means to guide. So it doesn't mean just the natural parents that can guide. Because I remember in our community, which Fred is also talking about, look, if Mrs. Jones down the street saw you do something, she was going to get you before you even got to the house. And then she's calling your parents, telling you, you know, so-and-so and so-and-so is doing stuff. You better. Right. So by the time you got home, everybody has checked you on your activity.
That was a time when people really trusted elders. Now they don't even want to hear
it. Like Dr. Tati said, this is it's hard to be a parent, but then you have to find some way to do it, or I don't know. It's just hard. I don't know.
And I think the community aspect of it, having a community helping to parent, right? I know when it's a little different, but then when you have people in your same community that are doing the same thing, can you pick up my daughter and take her to volleyball practice because I'm working late, but this parent is picking up the kids and helping them
the daycare, then you have to pick them up by 6 by the daycare, and if you don't, I've read the story about the I think this was recently that they left a 6-month-old baby in the daycare because it was 6 o'clock and the parent hadn't shown up, so they turned the light. They turned the lights off and left. And so the husband showed up and was like, what's going on? I had to call the police, and somehow they got in. The baby was fine, but these are the kind of things you have.
That's daycare.
Is that daycare shut down?
I'm not sure.
Well, it should be.
Let me see if I can find that story while you guys are talking.
That's remarkable. Nobody checked.
They checked.
They knew the baby was there,
and they just went home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How old were these people?
What were they thinking?
Tati's like, I have nothing to say. How old were these people? They sound like Black.
Philadelphia. This was February 2024. A 6-month-old girl was found alone in the closed and locked daycare facility in Philadelphia.
So she was safe, but she was locked in, huh?
She was asleep, yeah. But they left because the parents showed up and was like, okay, with my child.
So what happened?
Yes,
they shut down.
Hold on, let me get the story.
This is crazy.
But they want Instagram to do something.
Yeah,
this is behind a firewall.
You see what I mean? It's like they can only do so much. But
they want Instagram to do
this. I think is something.
Absolutely. And sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, to the point of the community, that's the thing. The daycare, even though you're paying them, that's part of the community. And if you can't trust the community, especially community that you're paying to keep your children safe, that who do you trust, what can you do? And we can keep pointing. Like, I think so many people like to keep pointing to the breakdown of society, the breakdown of parent household, and it's always a conference, a task force, what. So then what do you do about it? The thing is, we keep talking about it, but there are no solutions that are offered. Oh, here's a solution. There should be sponsored daycare for that type of thing, especially after a certain time. There should be 40-hour work week is rubbish. How many people are actually working 40 hours for somebody? You're there, you finish what you're doing, but because they need to look over your shoulder, you have to stay. So there's all of that. If, in my opinion, these children are in school for a long time and they're not getting any smarter. In the US anyway. I've never seen a school system where children are there for that much of the day and you don't know a damn thing. So there are all sorts of things there when it comes to how can you make the problem better. Look at legislation, look at those types of things to alleviate the problem. Then maybe we will start to solve some of these other things that are just a symptom of what's going on.
So I put a link to this video if you guys want to watch it. Also, it's a some of the story is the father, the parents said that they've been sending the baby there for 4 months. They've never been allowed inside the building. Red flag. The daycare was recommended by a family friend to send, and they sent the baby when she was an infant. So again,
your friend, that ain't your friend, number one.
Mm-hmm.
That is some scary stuff.
That's not your friend.
They were never allowed inside the building?
In a place that they've never been inside.
Okay, so I'm just gonna hand my baby off to.
You're right.
Drop the baby off through a port in the wall or something.
No, they probably opened the door and went to they gotta go to, like Dr. Tati said, they gotta work 1 or 2 jobs. So I'm like, okay. Everything seems when they go to get the baby, everything seemed all right, and they just kept doing it. But red flag, you have to go in and meet everybody and look around
and look at the facility. There could be rusty nails everywhere.
Exactly.
You don't know. So, but
so
they
that's
found
on
the baby
them
was safe. The baby was okay. They went to the hospital. Everything was fine. But
okay, so we digress. So
yeah.
I am going to pass the.
That's the state of things that when Dr. Tati was talking, I remembered that I read this story and I was like, "This is crazy."
Well,
all right,
but they want to hold Instagram to a higher standard than this daycare.
Correct.
Yes.
Well, my before we get into this, my issue is that parents want the government to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
With this, and they can't. And what I said was they brought Mark Zuckerberg up, not defending him, but they brought him up in front of Congress, and it was for one thing, and he's thinking it's for one thing, but they got up there with the pictures of the children and telling him it's his fault.
Whole guilt trip.
Yeah. No. Sorry. No.
Theater. Sorry to interrupt, but it's theatrics.
Yeah.
All of these things start to happen so they can show constituents, look, we're doing something. We're asking we're telling Mark Zuckerberg that this is his fault when it's not. And you are really appealing to the lowest common denominator that does not have the critical thinking skills to know that A doesn't equal B in this case, that one thing has nothing to do with the other. But because they're so gullible or don't want to take the time to research and learn, you're going to be able to sway them into voting for you the next time because I've done something. I've now nailed the Zuckerberg.
And if I was Zuckerberg, I don't blame him for apologizing. That's a cheap.
So he didn't know what to say because he was blind. They blindsided him. I'm not picking up for him, but I'm like, okay, I'm the CEO of the tech. We're here to talk about the company. What is this? And like Dr. Tati said, theatrics is to show, oh, look what we're doing, but they're not doing anything. And I'll say one thing, and then we'll move on. Every state, what do you have to do to get a car? To drive a car in any state, what do you have to do?
Get a license.
Test.
Get it. You gotta take a test to get that license. If you don't pass the test,
you don't get a license.
But here we are with the other stuff of, handing out phones and do all of those things. So there's Where do we go?
So here's with that test taking thing, TJ, in the world of real estate, if you want to buy a home, and this is your first time and you're using government funds, they make you go through a class.
Good.
If you want to do a reverse mortgage, they make you go through a class.
Good.
You don't just, well, we're going to just, that keeps everybody informed. You won't be able to say anything. You go through a class. And if I hear you correctly, if you make these parents or go through a class before you start dishing out stuff to your kids. Oh, like the terms of service that we don't read? Okay.
I'm just saying. Something's got to be done. All right, so let's go into social media news this week. We were going to start with Instagram. Instagram is it's beginning to blur nudity in messages to protect teens and fight sexual extortion. So Instagram is deploying new tools to protect young people and combat sexual extortion, including a feature that will automatically blur nudity in direct messages, because a lot of this is happening in the DMs, direct messages. So they're testing out the feature as part of its campaign to fight sexual scams and other forms of image abuse, and to make it tougher for criminals to contact teens. In my phone, there we go. Stop that. Okay, yeah. So Instagram says scammers often use direct messages to ask for intimate images. To counter this, it will start testing out a nudity protection feature for direct messages that blurs any images with nudity and encourages people to think twice before sending nude images. And again, AI is going to do this because they'll be able to recognize a nude image of a body. They'll be able to it'll be able to recognize that. So they're going to do that. The feature will be turned on by default globally for teens under 18. Adult users will get a notification encouraging them to activate it. So it'll be blurred. You get a warning. You'll block the sender. All of those good things. For people sending direct messages with nudity, they will get a message reminding them to be cautious when sending sensitive photos. They'll also be informed that they can unsend a photo if they change their mind. But if they're scamming, there's a purpose for you sending it. Instagram is also working on technology to help identify accounts that could be potentially be engaging in sexual extortion scams. And they're going to use AI and other tools to figure this out. To stop criminals from connecting with young people, it's also taking measures, including not showing the message button on a teen's profile. That means you can't message if they're under 18. To potential sextortion accounts, even if they already follow each other, and they're also testing new ways to hide teens from these accounts. Here's a note. The FBI warned of a huge increase in sextortion cases targeting children, including financial sextortion when someone threatens to release compromising images unless the victim pays. The targeted victims are primarily boys between the age of 14 to 17. But the FBI says any child can become a victim. So they're saying in 6 months from October 2022 to March 2023, yeah, that's 6 months, the FBI saw a more than 20% increase in reporting of financially motivated sextortion cases involving minor victims compared to the same period in the previous year. So they've had a 20% increase. So that this is from the FBI. So this is something that Meta knows about, and this is what they can do. What else can they do?
This is interesting that a corporation has to, and it's something for all of us to think about as your business goes bigger and people are engaging with you and stuff, the social responsibility of your company is now heightened, right? You have to put things in place to keep people from misusing your product in a way that you did not intend.
Right.
And it's unfortunate because we just want to get on here and talk to friends and share stuff, and then we get bad people.
YouTube has when you upload videos, it asks you, is this for kids? Are your content for kids? And so YouTube is starting to make it very clear that, okay, this is the YouTube for adults and this is the YouTube for kids, and they're going to have AI to scan things. And if you say, oh, no, this is not for kids, but it's something that could potentially damage them, it's going to be moved over automatically. You can try all you want, but YouTube is going to be like, nope, that's not appropriate for anybody under 18. Get over there, whether you like it or not. So there's people that are trying to do this and circumvent the rules, but there's going to be a time when you won't be able to circumvent things, especially AI, because Meta has some things going on too.
I just think it's a company have to do all of these maneuvers just to stay in company, to stay in business.
Right. But see, AI is going to, it hasn't caught up yet. AI hasn't caught up to the point where it's going to take care of that. And then this gets into the point where we were talking about with the health story about AI and the healthcare and all of the bumps and things that could go wrong. There's going to be things that go wrong. You can own a car, something's going to go wrong. You can own a house, something's going to go wrong.
And things have gone wrong before AI. People have had the wrong leg amputated.
That's life.
Finally, they figured out maybe we need to put a magic marker on there so people do the right leg.
Simple. Yeah, so we're gonna have to go through this to where AI is gonna catch up to this is content for minors and this is content for adults, and you're not gonna be able to cross those streams. But we're not there yet. So
meet. Okay.
Not there. So all right, so since we're talking about Instagram, let's see what else. Oh, that was the so Instagram is confirming profile notes are coming to all users. We've talked about this. The notes Fran goes, what? Why? The notes on users' profiles, because it's another way to prompt a conversation, and Gen Z loves notes. They love the note feature. That's why. So anything that makes them happy, Instagram is definitely going to do.
What notes? Go ahead, Dr. Taji, because
we're probably going to ask the same thing. Why is Note so popular with Gen Z?
And they're not in Instagram.
No, they are. Gen Z is using Instagram, but they're using it like, think Snapchat. What is so popular and why people love Snapchat so much is the privacy part of it. So Notes goes into there to where I can be on there, but I can have a private conversation. Remember, think high school and think writing a note in invisible ink or having a group of people where it's, we got a secret club, that kind of thing. That's where it comes from.
You see Fred's comment.
Yeah. So Notes it's like you won't, if you have a business account, you won't have it. That's why I'm saying this is more.
I'm like, what the?
Yeah, we've talked about this several times. If you've got professional, or I'm not sure if it's creator also, you won't have this. It's a notes feature for personal accounts where it looks like a story bubble, but it's a note.
Creator accounts have them.
Oh, they do? Okay.
Yeah.
But I know the business ones don't.
No.
Right. They don't, because you have a broadcast channel, you have other tools. And like I said, Instagram says if you classify yourself as a business, you get in the business lane and you do things over there. Creator and personal get extra stuff because they're not classifying themselves as a business. Okay, so Instagram is saying that profile notes will provide another means to let people know what you're up to or what you're thinking. And you'll also be able to leave notes on friends' profiles to prompt interaction. Snapchat. This is how Snapchat works. There's a private section of Snapchat where you're in your group of friends. Instead of you going to the mall and whispering, blah, 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 you go to Snapchat and you're in a private group and you get to talk about whatever high school-y things that you talk about in the privacy of the group. So Instagram is putting that in, but it's not for business use because business owners don't need that. They have other tools. Okay, so the notes, this is popular. This is something they're using. Instagram knows that they like it because they see the use of. So they're like, okay, they're pushing it out. Nonsense. This is what Instagram is doing. So this is another thing. Remember when Facebook came out with the business pages, and business pages got all this engagement, and then it went down to zero because Instagram was like, Facebook was like, you're a business, so we got ads over here, baby. Go and run some ads and make us some money. We're not gonna give you no free engagement if you classify yourself as a business. That's just how they doing it. Again, this is their world, their platform. They get to decide. We do not pay. We do not have a voice. There's still this week, I'm still on threads and conversations where people are mad and responded to Adam, the CEO, about, I have 30,000 followers. Why can't all 30,000 followers see my post? That is still a thing. They are mad
because we don't want to see it. I didn't sign up.
And explains all of and they're mad. They are mad. Why?
And they put the thing in that you could turn on the notification of anything that you wanted to hear from. So if I didn't turn the notification on, that means I don't want to hear from you.
You know what though? Here's, in fairness, because I think for those of us who kind of understand how this works, it's like, okay, you're not going to be able to see, not all 30,000 people want to see. There are all sorts of things there, but they also turn around and make a big deal out of having numbers of followers. For example, on Instagram, you're only eligible for some monetization things once you get to 10,000 followers. So you're saying at the same time, not everybody can see things, right? But then you're making a big deal out of the fact that you need to have these followers, but then you're not showing them to everybody, if that makes sense. So I can kind of see where the angst and the annoyance would be if you're telling me that this is important, that I'm creating stuff for you now because it's reciprocal. Just like we're using you for free and we have no say, you also are getting royalty-free content from us that you are using to monetize, that you are using to leverage because the fact that you're able to acquire and buy things is only because we are creating. So now, because of all of that, and we still can't, people still can't see what we're creating, which, by the way, we're doing for free and putting in lots of hours, but then we can't monetize now, although I'm one that don't rely on the platform for monetization because they really don't want to give it to you in the first place. You need to find some other ways to do that, whether it's commercials in what you do or whatever. But I digress. But I kind of see where I see their point and where the annoyance is.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm a bring this up, and I think we talked about it before. What if Meta came out and said you have to pay per post?
Oh, they're not going to do it.
They could do that, and then what will you do?
I think they'd have to shut down. People just like, I'm not doing that with you.
They could say that it's going to cost 1 cent, a penny a post, and you'll reach everybody.
There would be some people who would pay it.
Meta,
it would sift.
Yeah,
it would sift out.
Charity. It is not a charity. I mean, social media might have started out fun and games, but we are not there now.
I always thought they should just charge everybody who's using the platform 99 cents a month.
Could charge you $9.99 a month. They don't want to because they know that's going to get rid of people.
They got billions of users.
But I'll say to you, if you want you have 30,000 followers, you want all of them to see, pay me $9.95, and I'll show all of it.
That would solve that.
Not charity. They don't have to do anything you guys want. We want. I mean, we guys. I'm like the people that are like, writing and stuff. Yeah. No, social media started out that way. It's not that way today. It's an enterprise. Absolutely. It's business. It's corporation. It's money. Zuckerberg is what, $60 billion or something? I'm not sure what he's worth now.
He's not sure what he's worth. He may be worthless, but and absolutely. But if you're going to charge, what they very well could, right? They could say, you know what, we're going to charge now, and those people who are really invested in growing audiences, growing communities, you can pay. After all, if you look at meetup.com, you know where you can form, you have to pay for that.
It
right?
was free, right? But
it was free before. As a user, you don't have to pay. But for those groups, to have a group on Meetup, you have to pay. So, and actually, I think they've instituted some things where, for example, if you have a group on Meetup, they do have paid features for that. So if you are an individual, you may have to pay depending on how that group is set up.
Right.
So they could easily go that way. And the people who are not going to pay will fall off. And those people
Those are
who are there,
that's not my audience. So fall
exactly.
away.
But if I'm going to pay,
right, you're gonna give me something for that money.
If and I'm going to pay, I need to see. It's the same thing to me like paying taxes. I don't want to see near a pothole if I'm paying for this to be done. I don't want to see anything.
Exactly when you're paying. But that's what I'm saying, that Meta could charge 99 cents a month. I don't know what it is. They don't want to, because they know of the complicate. They get more money on it.
There's not enough money in asking subscribers to pay. That's why the subscription quote model doesn't necessarily work in all cases. It has to be coupled with advertising. It has to be coupled with sales of digital products, etc. On its own, you can make money, but there's too much churn.
That's why whenever we talk about an ad, I believe forgot who it was, that we're not going to charge a subscription and we're not running ads. I said from day one that they were out of business.
That was Be Real.
Be Real.
Be
Where
Real.
Yes.
Where
Be Real. Look at it.
Is anybody talking about?
We don't know.
Fred's
got to look. I wasn't picking up another thing that told me that I had to check in and take a picture. Fred said instant camera and Telegram equals Instagram. That note sounds Telegram-ish. And I think, and then he says,
stop laughing at that.
You all should create a show called I Digress.
We have a couple of shows, or I Digress. And what's the segment?
Who asked for that?
Who asked for that? Yes.
And then he said $5.99 a month, which is really not bad. Zuckerberg is the great whiz of social media. And then they should $2.99 for every tech support call, which they are horrible
now, I'm glad you brought this up, because if they charge, they would have that tech support. I need to talk to somebody, would have to be in there. And you know how many people would sign up for that? Tons. Because that's all I see, especially business owners. I can't reach anybody at Instagram. I can't reach anybody at Facebook. I can't reach and this is, I'm talking business. I'm not talking about users. Business owners want to talk to somebody to fix my problem. So yes, charge me $2.99. But when I got a problem, I'm picking up the phone. Hello, Instagram.
Or at least make the chat thing work, because
you're paying. So now you're a paying customer. You get the right to call them up, and you get the right to hold their feet to the fire. We're not paying. They don't care. You live with it or you move on.
They could do like Apple does with Apple Care. So, yearly or however, for 3 years you pay and you get, tech support and you talk to a person.
Yep. That's how it works, because I'm paying.
Yeah, because right now most tech support is you send in an email and we'll get back to you in 24 hours after the house burned down.
You are in the driver's seat. You are the customer that pays. Make us think.
Right, because you go to the front of the line when you pay.
Yes. You pay for cable, you got a problem, it's out for an hour or what, you better call them up. I want an hour credit.
And guess what? I would definitely, if I'm running my business and Facebook or Instagram is a big part of it, I would pay for a tech support package so that I can make sure everything is going to run right with my business. Although your business shouldn't be only on Instagram and Facebook, but I would pay for that if it's important enough. If that means I'm getting conversions, leads, and sales, I would pay for that.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, that these people are complaining, and they're having conversations with Adam on Threads, and he's responding. He's responding. I'm like, he could just like, I'm not talking to any of you people. These people are mad, but I'm like, you're not paying customers, so
But see, that's on I blame Meta, because you have a social platform, and people traditionally call companies out on social when they are annoyed. So what happens is generally there's somebody that they've appointed to take care of and do all those things. But now what happens when you are the problem and there's nobody you've appointed to take care of it? So now they're adding Mosseri, and Mosseri is busy responding. They need to take care of that. That's a clear sign that they need to have a whole segment or section or department that deals with it. It's a clear sign. But maybe it's clear to us.
What company doesn't have a department that handles
customer service department?
Yeah, I mean,
if Meta has customer service, please point me in that direction, because I know they have support in the form of bots. You never speak to anyone unless you really are, somebody. You never speak to anyone.
Right. And okay, I heard this. I was talking to somebody. They said, this is not my circus, and I don't know the monkeys.
Yep.
Exactly.
I was oh my God.
That's exactly it.
That's about the size of it.
That's it. And I think I was doing social media for like a few years ago. I was like at the beginning of the pandemic, I was doing social media. I work with a realtor and I do his video and social stuff. And he had a big client at the time, which was a new development of like townhouses and condos. And so they tapped me to do all this stuff for that. So when we were having an issue with Facebook, I was like, look, it's impossible to get anybody at Facebook. We're just going to have to keep trying these. They're like, well, you think it would help if we did? I'm like, sweetheart, who are you? You are not big enough for them to. And I think every business thinks that they are more important than they actually, and you're important in your own right. But you think because you're a business and you run things a certain way that Facebook surely will talk to me. I run the fruit stand on the corner. Surely Facebook will talk to me. No. No, you have to be at a certain level before they even pick up the phone. And even then,
the blue check does not get you an inch closer to the door
at all. Nope. That blue check, you have to pay for it now, so it means nothing.
But it should have come with customer support that's a little bit faster than normal.
Yeah,
I just email you what you should do faster.
Isn't that X's deal though?
No, I don't know about X, but I'm talking about with Facebook.
What and I was trying.
No, I why do I remember when you paid for that stupid blue plan that you got like customer support? Was that part of it, or am I dreaming?
No, that was it. That was part of Facebook. You got customer. They didn't say you was going to talk to a live person, but they moved you up in the customer service. They will respond to you more quickly.
This calls for some water.
Okay, we move on. We got some other stuff before we get to the good media stuff.
Okay, really?
Okay.
No, take your time. I'm good.
Oh, okay. Meta updates the AI labeling policy. This is to ensure that synthetic content, AI generated content, is being tagged, because there's a lot more generative AI posts that people are not taking the time to look at, and they're assuming that it's somebody, that it's real. Like I put up my little cat post, and I know Dr. Tati saw it. I was like, is this real?
Yes.
It's not. Okay, but if you don't investigate it, you're easily fooled. So Meta's going to put a tag, and I've been saying this, so they have to, because the year that we're in with the election, that guy is endorsing people making AI images of President Biden and this and that. So there's a door open for this. So Facebook is going to go, we're closing it. So they're going to put they're putting a labeling policy to ensure that more AI generated content is tagged and disclosed accordingly. Here's their quote. Our existing approach is too narrow since it only covers videos that are created or altered by AI to make a person appear to say something they didn't. Our manipulated media policy was written in 2020 when realistic AI generated content was rare. It was because it was ugly back then. And the overarching concern was about videos in the last 4 years, and particularly in the last year. People have developed other kinds of realistic AI generated content like audio and photos, and this technology is quickly evolving. Yes, too quickly. So the new process will see more made with AI labels being put on the content when Meta detects industry standard AI image indicators, or when people disclose that they're uploading AI generated content, which a lot of people aren't. Because they're like, okay, if I say it's AI, I'm not going to catch what I'm trying to catch. You see what I'm saying? I want to catch people with the realness, scamming or non-scam, whatever they're doing, above board or not. They don't want to label it AI, but that's where we are now. That you have to self-identify. I think Amazon, if you do the Kindle publishing and stuff, you have to self-identify. Yeah. But it's going to be a point where they're going to do it automatically. So we're slowly getting there. So Meta is doing that. Meta says it will also leave more AI generative content up in its apps as opposed to removing it, with the label serving both an informational and educational purpose.
So your cat video is where?
My cat photo, did I make it public? It's on Facebook.
It's on Facebook.
Okay, yeah. I was like, I was in Instagram. Okay, I'll go.
No, it's on Facebook. I didn't do it on Instagram. I did it on Facebook.
And you know how I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Dr. Tachi.
You know how I knew two things. So to the cat photo, the reason I knew, well, I do an awful lot with AI generated images now. So you start to look at things. It looks very real. But the thing I did is I zoomed in a little bit and looked at the cat's eyes to see what it was looking at. So that kind of gives you a clue as to whether or not it's, because the reflection will be reflecting something else. So I was like, I said, I think it's AI, but it could be real. And then, just some of the thing, because AI is great, but it's not perfect yet. You still get some of the three finger thing sometimes when you look. But I mean, that was did you create it?
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful.
Okay, is it showing up? Let me see.
I see it.
Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then one of my friends responded also. I didn't even think about what you're saying. Like, you're zoom. I knew you were going to catch it, but you're zooming in, and then my other friend here was talking about the light source, but those things, because we're in it. The regular people are not going to catch it.
Right.
No.
And I made this with Adobe Firefly.
Oh, you did this with Firefly?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's nice.
I don't know how I did it. I'm trying to save my prompts.
Yeah.
But this, I was just like, and because they give you 4, and I think this was the best of the 4. And I was like, that looks like a real cat looking out the window. But like you said, you zoomed in, you looked at the eyes. Then my other friend was like the lighting and the this and the that and the too far away.
Yeah, because he went deep. I was like, dude, most people are not going to even look at how the flash.
But I expect that from him because he's in, he's
in photography. The flash and shutter is just enough for the cat to do something. Oh, wait, what though? Okay, it looks like a cat. And he made mention that most cats don't sit still, but you can capture this if you're not near the cat with a telephoto lens, you can capture that shot.
Right. So I know like a lot of people are going to like, oh, that's it, because they're in it. But I wouldn't want it to get the people that are not. Like it's a cat. It looks great.
It's a cat and it looks good. It's like, it's a kitty.
It's not like the early, because when we first started talking about AI, generative AI for images, I hated it because it was like the face didn't look right. It didn't look real. Now we're in reality.
It has improved so much. And I did want to ask you a question about this, if you don't mind. So I actually went to a training, my realtor friend, Gary, actually.
Yeah.
So they have, they did one of the title companies does a lot of social media for realtors type thing, and I always, go.
Right.
And I asked this question because we were doing Facebook ads and Instagram ads. So I asked, now I use a lot of generative AI and generate a lot of images, but now that there are some platforms that are requiring you to declare when you are using AI, what does that mean for ads when you're using AI generated images for ads? I don't know if you know.
That's the thing. I don't know, but see what I'm thinking about, especially for Meta is going to use this policy everywhere.
Okay.
But here's the thing. We're going to get to a point where it won't matter. That's why I put the cat photo up. It won't matter to people because we're so used to seeing AI where we're not now. There's going to come a time where it won't bother us.
And we'll be used to seeing that little disclaimer at the bottom.
Our brains are trained to learn something new and self-filter. Just like Terlina brought up the story with the journalist, the AI journalist.
Channel 1.
We're not going to care.
And there'll be a little. See how they have that ticker?
Yeah, there'll be a little crawl. Your brain will see it and see it and see it, and then you will just poof. It will go away as long as the messaging is right. Just like I said with the journalist channel where it's all AI talking heads. As long as the news is right and factual, we won't care. We're not there yet. We're getting there because AI is going to get better than what that cat. It's going to get much better. See?
So I just went over to Image Effects, which is the one that's in the lab for Google. And I just typed in what you did. I don't know what your prompt was. I just said it. An image of a cat looking out a window.
Yeah.
And so I pulled that up and I'm like, they look realistic to me. Okay.
Bring it out. Let's see.
I was like, so.
And I believe Firefly gives you some free credits, I think.
Yeah, that's the thing with all of these apps. It's like the credits you have to
you run out of
although I've been using Copilot.
Yes, I use that too.
Okay, so let me see. Here's the set. Can y'all see that?
Yes.
Okay, because we can
look good.
Can you make it? Can you click on it and make it bigger?
I'm trying.
No.
Okay, hold on.
Download.
I should be able to make this window bigger, right?
Well, you could download one and then just open it if you want to do that.
Okay, because I like him.
Yeah, get the best one. And then just open it in the browser. It'll be big in the browser and then switch the tab. See? Oh, you did an image of a cat looking out the window. That's it. You don't have to. The early days of AI when we had to create these long prompts are over. You don't.
And then when it came out looking like something that Salvador Dali painted.
Yeah.
Just keep it simple and descriptive. You can even say what color you want the cat's fur to be, or what color you want the house to be. You can do that, but you see the simple an image of a cat looking out the window. And this is what you get.
Oh, there it is. I was like, where's my cat, man?
Which is good enough to say if you were doing a cat food video or you had a pet channel or something and you could put a toy to playing with whatever things that cats do, you could put that image instead of, well, I got to take some pictures of the cat and you got to get the cat to set up at the set and you got to get you just go in, say what you want and you get it and you're on your way to something else. See, look at that.
That's good.
Now we see it as AI because we're in this, but the average person I'm on my phone scrolling and I get a pet food ad or a pet whatever ad, they're not going to zoom in and look at the eye or like my other friend David, the light source. And they don't have time for that. Self-filtering, the human brain, self-filtering. That's the cat. Oh, it's cute. Move on, or whatever it's doing. And And if it's an ad, they're going to stop and investigate, or they're going to go, I don't care about cats, or I don't have a pet, and they're going to move on.
Right. I mean, it looks like a cat. It doesn't, and it did it better than they did with the humans, because the human hands they messed up.
Right? Instead of you getting a $1,000 camera, setting up the lights, getting the cat to look out the window at the perfect angle, all of those things are gone.
Mm.
So this is where we are.
And that looks like a cat.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, it is a cat. We have all sat and agreed that this is a cat, and therefore it is a cat.
On a cloudy day, you can change it to a sunny day.
Mm-hmm. Fred has a point that it looks like a leopard around the nose.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the what do they call
it? The AI part of it.
That's the not anomaly. There's something a word. That's one of the things. So I would, if I wasn't satisfied with that.
Is it a hallucination?
Yes.
Yeah.
If I wasn't satisfied with that, I would do another, or I would take it into Canva or Photoshop, which Canva can do. Canva can change things now, real easy AI, and I would just change it. But what I'm saying is, because we're zoomed into it, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, and I'm shopping, or I'm this, or I'm that, and I'm on my phone. I'm not going to look at that. I'm going to see an image of a cat. And I'm going to
he looks the best out of the four.
But if you wanted to, you could change that nose easily.
And again, like you said, most people are not going to care.
No, a talk.
99.9% will not care, because humans are busy. Our brains are set up to self-filter, self-identify easily and quickly. That's an image of cat. Bloop. I don't care about a cat. I'm moving on. Oh, that's a cute cat. It's doing XYZ. Let me tap the post, or let me tap the ad. Boom.
Fred has an announcement here. He says Canva purchased his graphics platform Affinity. Wow, that's major.
Yes, they did.
That is awesome.
That's big news. Very big news.
Canva also owns free image platform Pixabay and Pexel. I did not know they own. I use Pixabay.
Yeah,
and I did not know they owned it.
I've used both of them. I didn't know that Canva owns them. Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
I've used those. But see, that's where the large language model for imagery has to learn on images.
Yeah.
So there you go. All right, so that's what's going on here with the AI labeling. Expect more because they have to keep people from War of the Worlds freaking out. So. Honestly, that's what they got to do.
Those are aliens.
Because remember the Pope, the picture of the Pope. That's when it's really turned. The tide turned. The picture of the Pope with the white bubble coat,
with the white puffer coat on.
Although that was a fly coat, I will
admit
that was a fly coat.
Is the Pope really wearing? No, it was AI. So.
But you know what? It was believable, and I hate to go down these things, but those types of things become believable because of what we have seen before. Now, remember, what Pope, not Pope Benedict, was it Pope Benedict, the one that resigned, and then this new Pope Francis? So
I get them mixed up.
I do too, and I should know. But so Pope Benedict, he was famous for wearing these Italian, I don't know if it was Bruno Mali but these Italian shoes.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, he got flack for that, right?
They were like, why should he? I was like, can he wear shoes? He lives in Italy. Why would you buy cheap shoes if you live in Italy and you could get good
paper slippers or something? I'm like, who cares?
You want him to wear bamboo slippers?
Send him some shoes if you don't like his shoes. I don't care.
And it's not like he has 10 million pairs of them. You would always see him in those same kind of red shoes. Maybe he has a few pairs. You need shoes. He walks.
Is it an Italian shoemaker? Okay.
And it's in Italy, so it's going to be cheaper. Fine. So that's what made the puffer coat thing believable, I think, to people.
Right. So, but that was the turn for me. I was like, okay, that's the turning point in the public eye of AI. Whoa. was that image.
The bubble code,
so
yeah.
there. And Fred says believable because people are AI blind. Yes, that's
True.
a part of it.
True.
That's a part of it. I'll give you a quick example. TV.
Come
when you
on,
watch
bubble
TV
codes.
ads. That's it. When you watch TV, what do you do with the ads? Instantly
mute,
turn off. You turn. I mean, you turn off. Like you don't watch.
Oh yeah.
Or you leave. Or you. It's like a signal. The end of the show. Boop. Here comes the ad. Let me pick up my phone. Let me call somebody. Let me go to the bathroom. Let me get a snack.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we are. It's going to be that too. With AI. So. All right, so let's look. I got a lot more here, so let's get into one more for Meta Threads API. They're enabling third-party apps. They're going to have an official Threads API for developers in June. Developers will be able to create apps and other tools that integrate with the Threads app, which is what the social media managers want because they use the third-party apps and they don't have to go pick up the app Threads and put a post. They could just cross post everywhere. So that's what's going on with there. Let's see. I got a couple of new ones. There's something called an app called Lyrak, Lyrak. I think it's Lyrak or Lyrak or something. So it is going to be an ex-competitor like Threads, Mastodon, Blue Sky, Substack Nodes, Post, Spoutable, because it's going to integrate the Fediverse. Now, the Fediverse is the open source social network. We talked about this with Mastodon, that it's not one server. You have to know which server to join because people own servers. That's what the Fediverse really is, kind of like. It's no one owns the one space. So you have to know where to go. And it's also based on you can take your data and go, like a suitcase. Oh, I don't want to stay here anymore. You pack up your data and you go somewhere else. Well, you can't really do that now with Meta and the way that they have everything. Does that make sense?
Meta is making that available so that when people go to, say for instance, I think it's on Threads, where Threads is going to be open to, and they may open the other stuff in the Fediverse, meaning that I can post something, I can stay in Threads and post, my stuff will still go to other people who are on Mastodon, Lyrak, or somewhere else. They will see my posts without me having to repost it over there.
Right. And they use a social networking protocol. It's called Activity Pub. So this is like one of the things that, that's going on with apps. So this new app, Lyrak, they're going to take the best of what Twitter has to offer and combine it with Activity Pub integration, allowing users to interact with the wider audience on other federated social networks like Mastodon and the others that I listed. So this app isn't live yet, but they're saying that this is something that they're going to do, and it's based. It was founded by a web designer in London named Rishi Siva.
Okay.
Because he was unhappy with the direction X is going and how it affects creators. Here's his quote: "After Musk took over Twitter, I saw a significant change in the way the platform behaved and the types of accounts it promoted. It's disappointing to see that all the tech leaders I admire ignore this and still use Twitter." And he says that it's because, and I've said this also, that Twitter is still X, whatever you're calling it, it's still the best place for
real-time
news. Which is why it remains sticky with users despite all of the bad things that's happening. So I just, I saw this and I was like, I agree with him. That's why people are still on. There's certain factions that are on Twitter because they're used to it, and the lights are still on. So they got to do a blab over at X before people leave. So they're staying. They got to turn the lights off. Right. Boop. People are talking. Yep. Boop.
They pulled the plug with no apologies.
They pulled the plug, just like we talking right now. If StreamYard came and boop, we're gone. So until they do that, people are going to stay on Twitter, X, and there's nothing, you can't pry them away. All right, so Spotify is launching a personalized AI playlist that you can build using prompts. So this is based on their popular AI DJ feature. Does everybody know about the DJ feature in Spotify? No, yeah, no. No, okay. Real quick, Spotify. If you go in, there's a DJ button, and it will go and look at your like songs and build you a playlist based off of your like songs. So you don't have to search for things. And then what I don't like about the DJ features, they will stick new music in there, and I'm just like, I want a button that says, "Do not give me new music." I'm like, what the heck is that? Skip, and then they go, all right, and then the DJ goes, all right, since you don't like that, let me give. I'm like, yeah, because I didn't ask you for no new music from people I don't know. So that's one of the things I don't like. But they're now launching a personalized AI playlist that you build with prompts, and it's a beta, and a new option called AI playlist, which allow users to generate a playlist based on written prompts. It will initially become available on Android and iOS devices in the UK and Australia. So they're testing it over there first. So what you'll do is they're saying that you'll be able to create a wide variety of custom playlists, like songs to serenade my cat, beats to battle a zombie apocalypse. Those are some of the examples.
Okay.
Prompts can reference all sorts of things like places, animals, activities, movie characters, colors, or emojis. And they're saying the best playlists are generated using prompts that contain a combination of genres, moods, artists, and decades. So you can go, if you like the 70s, you can go in and say, build me a list on the 70s around a particular movie or a time or whatever, and it will go and find the songs that fit that, I guess. So this is so once you generate the playlist, users can then use the AI to revise and refine the end result by issuing commands like less upbeat or more pop, for examples. Users can also swipe left on any songs to remove them from the playlist. So this is a natural progression from the DJ option that you have right in there now, Spotify. One more that we don't ever talk about is eBay. eBay is adding an AI-powered shop the look feature to its iOS app. So they're adding a new generative AI-powered feature to appeal to fashion enthusiasts. A shop the look section within the app that will suggest a carousel of images and ideas based on the customer's shopping history. eBay says the recommendations will be personalized to the end user and will evolve as the customer shops more. The idea is to introduce how other fashion items may complement the current wardrobe. So they're saying it will have interactive hotspots that, when tapped, will reveal similar items and outfit inspirations, with the resulting looks including both pre-owned and luxury items that match the user's personal style. Shop the look will appear to any eBay shopper who has viewed at least 10 fashion items over the past 180 days. It will display both on the eBay homepage and the fashion landing page. So I guess there's two different pages. So this is a way for eBay to get you to buy by doing a little Pinterest type stuff and generating, styles and giving you the image, and you tap on the image and then you go and you buy it.
So well, Fred says he's not shopping on eBay. Okay. Fred says he's not shopping on eBay.
And this is why they want you to shop on eBay. They're going to do things like that. So, and also in the AI features were meant to help customers find the right fit or size. So Google and Amazon have this kind of feature in their platform, but they're saying the those AI features were meant to help customers find the right fit or size. eBay's new feature is more focused on fashion inspiration, meaning finding the right style. Shop the Look will be available on iOS in the US and the UK, with support for Android coming later this year. That is eBay. Okay. All right. The Substack now allows podcasters to sync and distribute their episodes to Spotify. So this one's connected to Spotify. Substack is rolling out a Spotify integration that will allow podcasters on Substack to sync and distribute all of their free and paid episodes to Spotify streaming service. So there's going to be new custom audio transcripts and captions to go along with this. Also, improvements to clip sharing and mobile video. So this will make Substack podcast discoverable with the streaming service, making it easier for podcasters to reach more listeners. Plus, the integration will allow Substack podcasters, existing subscribers, to listen to paid episodes on Spotify. So this is something they're putting together, potential to help podcasters earn more money, as free listeners will be nudged to upgrade to a subscription. So this is you go into your settings and you set this up. Once you do it, you can go to Spotify for Podcasters account to see your data about streams, unique listeners, playtime, demographics, and more. Okay, so this is a joint thing between Substack and Spotify. What do we think of that? Because I know Fran has a Substack, right? So now you can connect your Spotify podcast. If you have a podcast, put it on there, and then you can nudge people to have it free and nudge them into a paid subscription.
Right. And the podcast that we have through Spotify, which sends it out to everybody, I think I had to do is put the RSS feed into Substack. Now people can start in Substack and go the other way.
Right. So they're making like a two-way thing. Okay, so that's
interesting.
Yeah, so interest in podcasting is going up. We talked about that and showed the charts. You could see the progression is steady. Very steady. All right, YouTube is switching to read-only comments for kids and supervised experiences. They sent an email to parents who supervise a child account. They said there's the introduction of a read-only comments option on the child's supervised experience on YouTube. The feature will be coming out in the coming weeks. They're saying previously comments were fully disabled, meaning both reading and commenting were not available to kids. So now they're trying to do something that's age appropriate approach for older kids in the future. And this is something that they're looking at. Let's see. Oh, by default, children will be able to read but not write comments under both of these content setting models. Live chat will also be turned off. So again, like I said earlier, YouTube is like, this is the child's lane, child-friendly stuff only over here. We're making it very clear. Very clear. There's not going to be any crossing of the streams. Another thing YouTube is doing, YouTube launches new shopping features to help creators market products and grow their earnings. So YouTube announced that it's launching new shopping features that allow creators to curate shoppable collections, better plan their shoppable videos, quickly monetize older videos, and more. So they're doing this. Why? Because TikTok has their shop, and TikTok is trying to do their shopping thing. So YouTube is getting in on the bandwagon. So YouTube is launching shopping collections to allow creators to curate products from their favorite brands for users to browse through. Creators can pick a selection of products based on a theme, such as an everyday makeup look or a capsule wardrobe. The collections will appear in the creator's product list, store tab, and video description. Creators will be able to make collections on the Studio app on their phone. YouTube plans to launch this feature soon on the desktop. So right now it's through the Studio app on your phone, the YouTube Studio. And so they're also launching a new affiliate hub in the app to make it easier for creators to find information about the latest list of shopping partners, competitive commission rates, and promo codes. Creators will also be able to use the hub to request samples from top brands. They say the idea behind the new hub is to make it easier for creators to plan their next shoppable video. And one more thing YouTube is doing, they're adding fourth wall wall, a website builder that helps creators build shops. So by allowing users to connect their fourth wall shop, YouTube is making it easier for users to create and manage their content directly in YouTube Studio. So YouTube already offers integrations with Shopify, Spreadshop, and Spring. So as you can see, shopping is a shoppable videos is a big thing with the eBay, with this. So if they can make videos showing the products, or you get to curate a look or a style, all of those things are to get people to buy, because you are going to have the shop set up. They have the video showing the item, showing the style, showing the collection, and here's how you buy. And that's what Pinterest does. Pinterest already does that. It's showing something, and this is how you buy. And you're going to know, the user's going to know, if I watch this, there's going to be an option for me to buy. All right, so let's look at TikTok. TikTok has an Instagram competitor. They're going to call it TikTok Notes.
Oh gosh.
TikTok Notes. So now what is happening? TikTok users have been getting pop-up notifications about a new TikTok Notes app to share photos. This notification says that the company is soon launching a new app for photo posts called TikTok Notes, and users' existing photo posts will be shared on the app. Users can choose not to share their image posts to the new app. So TikTok confirmed that it's working on this app, but specified that it's not available yet. They're just working on it. Here's a quote: "As part of our continued commitment to innovating the TikTok experience, we're exploring ways to empower our community to create and share their creativity with photos and text in a dedicated space for those formats." So now what's going on here? TikTok and Meta, Instagram are competing with each other, doing, one does something, the other one copies, one does something else. So they're doing that back and forth. So now they're trying to come out with an Instagram-like app with just photos. Now,
Okay.
last week we talked about the vertical first videos for Facebook, and that was a TikTok-like thing. So now here comes TikTok. Go ahead.
Copying somebody. Oh, they all copying Snapchat right now.
On the paper. Yeah.
Okay, so
remember Instagram wanted to buy Snapchat, and Snapchat wouldn't sell.
And they didn't sell.
Right.
So the thing we're having here right now is, who asked for this? We didn't ask you to do all of this. And the problem, what I'm seeing, is trying to get people to move from one platform to another.
That's the deal. Trying to get people to move. Fred, I had Clapper, and when you just posted that, I'm going to see, because if I don't use it, iPhone gets rid of it. So I'm putting it back on to look. It came out with the first talk of the TikTok ban.
Really?
Okay.
Remember when that guy 45 was talking about banning it? Clapper came out in Lemon 8 or whatever that Lemonade thing, because people were like, "Oh, we need to go somewhere in case this thing gets banned." So Clapper was one of those.
And why would we? Okay, the whole name is wrong. So, yeah, just like you just talked about with like.
Well, some of the common misconceptions that people have is that this is like TikTok Lite, or that it runs like TikTok, and it definitely does not. One of the things that you're going to notice is that the in-app camera and all of that stuff, there's not the filters like there is on TikTok. There's
so I guess she's going to go through. This came up when I opened the app.
Okay, so that looks a lot like the other company we talked about that Isaac Hayes III has, Fanbase. It looks like Fanbase
popping up. Yes, so video, but Fanbase does. You can do Instagram carousels, and you can do all of the types of content. Clapper is TikTok like videos.
Right. So I went to the one that you just introduced today, Lyrac. Why do these people got weird names? But anyway, LIRAC is active. It's just not a lot of people over there.
Okay.
And so they make you pick 5 things to follow. They ask you what your interests are and all of that. So I went over there and did that, and I was like, it's pretty clean over here, quiet, not at all.
Okay.
It's not noisy at all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then they put suggestions of people for you to follow. And I was like, okay. And then they have the for you and following, sounds like threads to me.
Okay.
But interesting. I guess I need to put a profile on there because I haven't done that. But if it's going to connect in the Fediverse, I think I like that. You know what I'm saying? So I can just be in one place. That's the thing. People don't want to move from one platform to another.
Right.
They want to stay in the Fediverse will allow you to stay on one platform post.
Right.
And then people from other platforms who are even not on threads can still talk to you, and you can still have conversations and stuff back and forth.
Right.
That's the ultimate way they want this to work, where I can still talk to somebody even though they're on Mastodon. We can have a communication, and I don't need to leave threads to do it.
Right. And see, the thing about Mastodon is you get over, you have to know who to follow, what to do. You have to know.
And this right here with what is this what is it called? Active Pub?
Activity Pub or
Pub.
Active something. What's it called?
Right. It allows you to
Activity
do
Pub.
that. Right. They will publish, you put your content into the pub, and it will send it out to other places that are open to the Federation. Sounds like something on Star Trek.
Yep. The Federation.
It really does, because it'll go out to all these other planets and put your share over there. And people can interact with you from other planets. I was like, okay,
yeah.
Maybe
so
that's
I don't see any reviews yet, but I definitely will check it out.
Right. And I was like, yeah, it was definitely an interesting concept. And it's like I said, it was quiet over there just now. I was like, oh, nothing jumping up and running around.
Right. So that's your social media news and updates for the week.
And then Fred said Fediverse, grocery store for all social media.
Oh, and Clapper, I got 152 followers.
Woo! And you don't even be over there. There should be an app.
I got 3 videos. I might start posting stuff over there. I'll see.
There should be an app called Rabbit Hole.
Rabbit Hole. It should be. We lost Dr. Todd. She'll be back.
Oh, she says she's handling a call. So
could you
call it in? There we go.
Could you spell the name of that app, Lyric?
Not L-Y, what is it? L-Y-R-A-K.
R-A-K.
A-K. Okay.
A-K.
L-Y-R-A-K.
Okay. And Clapper is, C-A-L.
And you know what? I'm serious. When y'all started talking about the Clapper, I'm thinking of the light thing.
I was too. Did you see
me clap my hands? Turn the lights on and off?
Let me see. When did I put my video up? It says 5/26. It doesn't give me the year. What year is it? And it acts like TikTok. It basically, and like I went in, the lady was saying that it's the same as TikTok, except TikTok has the greatest editing tools, like out of all of the apps. Like people go to Reels and they complain about the editing within the app because it doesn't work as easily, as seamless as it does in TikTok. So, and remember, we said you can use TikTok, just be careful with it. But I was talking to somebody or something. It was like, well, they've already got your data.
That's so true.
I don't want to use it.
Yeah, just don't help them no more.
Oh, there's one there was a update on the TikTok, something about during the transition of it being sold or something, it will be active. Like it won't go dark, I think they said.
Okay, but did they decide that they had to sell it?
No, it's still it's in the Senate. Remember, the Senate hasn't done their thing yet. So and again, I think the last thing I said was the Senate was going to drag their feet, which they have.
Because don't nobody want to be the one that says, "Oh, you stop TikTok." And all their grandkids and everybody's like, "Grandpa, you stop TikTok. How could you?"
So the last thing it says, Mitch McConnell is pushing for them to vote, which they it's been a month. So since it went through the House, they send it through the House really quickly. It's in the Senate and it's languishing, which that's what I said. I said they're going to drag their feet. So Mitch McConnell is asked them on Monday to get a vote together, but you know what's going on with that. And it's going to be summer. They're going to go on this summer break soon.
And Fred said TikTok transition will reduce money being paid out and more. It will be greatly reduced in regards to types of content that is on there now. That's because most people don't know they don't know what's going on behind the scenes. They don't know the algorithms. They don't know the makings. It's like, okay, I'm going to take over the kitchen, but I don't know how to use none of the equipment, none of everything, but I'm going to take over.
So here's something from yesterday. They're saying that the lawmakers could extend to 1 year a proposed deadline to force TikTok parent company ByteDance to divest. So they can push this a year from now. They could vote today, but they're not going to do anything for a year. There's a 1 year deadline.
That sounds like what we normally do.
That's safe. Okay.
So, but what I'm saying is, like, it's not going to. And I read another story. They were saying, like, if they do the divestiture or whatever, it will still be active. It will not go dark while the ownership changes or whatever they're doing in the background. So there you go. But I was talking to somebody, they were like, well, they already got your data. So they got that day one whenever the app came out, which was what, 5 years ago? I don't remember.
Did I hear you say something about Mitch McConnell?
Yeah, he's pushing for a vote. He's pushing the House to vote because I said the House was going to drag.
I thought he was retired.
I need him to push retirement.
He's not retiring.
Retiring.
He doesn't want to retire. He's not going to retire. He's not.
Okay. Maybe he doesn't want to give up that security. Maybe they have security.
Whatever. He's not going anywhere.
Security.
He's not going anywhere now. There may be other plans for him from the upstairs people upstairs, but he's not leaving.
All right. All right. I think
that's where I was trying to put it nicely, like upstairs might have
the corporate office.
There you go.
The head honcho is going to be like, I don't care what you want.
Alrighty then.
So, but the thing about McConnell was like he called for a vote in the Senate on Monday because they've been dragging their feet. It's been a month since the House passed their thing. So, and now they're talking about a year, pushing it a year out. So,
all of them are useless. So, okay, I have no.
But it's what you said earlier that they're doing things to show, hey, look at what we're doing.
You're doing nothing, and I don't mind saying it. All of you are completely useless. There are a few of you who are really doing things that are being held up by the idiots who don't want to do anything.
But this is why we have an election every 2 years. You got it. The people that aren't doing anything, vote them out. You got to vote them out. They got to go.
All righty then.
Dr. Chachi. Fred said that they say if you stop moving at his age, you'll not be able to move anymore.
No, exactly. No, it's true. That's what you do have to keep moving.
But it doesn't have to be around Congress.
Go
ahead, Dr. Chachi.
Here we go. Lots of great golf courses around the DC area. If you want to go back to wherever the heck you're from, you're free to do that.
Private trainers. Go for a walk.
Exactly. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, There are a couple of things that I talked about. So Mediascope is, I'm trying to have it come back next week. So yeah, it's just difficult when.
Yeah, but I love the pop go. We was talking about the pop gumbo segment that you're doing, the show.
Yeah,
that you're doing. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. So that is for the Kenny Burns Show, TKBS, which is a radio show out of Atlanta, and he's pretty big, does some pretty big things. So I'm one of the correspondents, and so I do something that I call Pop Gumbo every Wednesday. So that's short little bites. I usually cover 2 stories, and I'm actually going to cover one of them here today. Ooh. So here's the thing. Remember the Golden Bachelor?
Yes.
Like it was that long ago. It's only been 3 months, right? Since the Golden Bachelor went off the air. Well, the honeymoon is over, ladies and gentlemen, because the Golden Bachelor and his bride are getting divorced after only 3 months.
Oh, what a shocker.
So Jerry Turner was the bachelorette, I guess she would be, who was overjoined. Jerry Turner was the bachelor who proposed to Teresa Nist, who is a financial services professional. And you remember it was such a big thing. And this show was big because this is the first time they have had a bachelor over the age of 35? I think
they come with Viagra. What? does this come with Viagra?
Listen. So he's 72 years old, which is not, old.
But was it a performance issue or not? Go ahead.
Was it a performance issue? They're not going to say that. If it is, they didn't make it. They didn't make it plain.
Do we want a quick because I pulled up the story. Do we want a quick visual or not?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Let's go ahead.
Okay. Let me bring it up real. It's a video on NBC News.
Okay.
But here's the Golden Bachelor and his
cutie pie
ex-wife.
Okay, and she looks kind of young.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, she's not that young.
Well, she looks a bit younger than him.
Yeah, I think she's a little bit younger than him, but she's not. It's not like she's in her 30s.
Right. Okay. Right. So there's your quick look.
Okay. So, and then what happened, Dr. Tachi? Please continue.
Absolutely. Well, I hope you all got a good look because they're not a couple anymore. So
good look.
It's only been 3 months and they're calling it quits. Now, this is the thing. Now, see, this is why I'm like, obviously with weddings and stuff, it's a celebration and that type of thing. But that's why sometimes you shouldn't make a big deal of it. I think they should have just done something quiet, even though I know the show, they required something big and lavish, but I would have been like, look, let's go into the hills of Encino someplace with the justice of a peace. And then if it gets called quit, fine. But you made this big, huge gala, which was a big night on television on ABC, ratings juggernaut for them. And now you are getting divorced.
Well, now, couldn't they have, I don't think that, make it last, do a field test for like a year or something before we just do the wedding. You know what I mean? You pick the person.
No, there's no ratings in that. There's no excitement.
Oh, no ratings. Okay.
There's no excitement. We meet, we're getting married, because remember, he said that, the whole thing was like, time is not on their side. So we need to do it now. Both of them were talking about that. This is going to be interesting, though. I think this is a very interesting story because it kind of sets the tone for the Golden Bachelor going forward, because the whole premise behind these shows is finding happily ever after, right?
Yeah.
And so if it doesn't end up being that, because let's look now, and I don't know how long it took, the first Black bachelorette, I can't remember her name, but she and her husband are now divorced.
Oh, no, not the whip.
It's not and I don't think nobody had time to get to know the other person to figure out, do I even like you?
Exactly. All this 90-day fiance stuff, you don't know each other. And granted, I do understand in various cultures, marriages are kind of arranged, put together, and you just kind of work through it, that type of thing. I understand culturally it may be different, but in this culture, most things are kind of a quote love match. And so you haven't had any time to foster that love.
No.
It grows. It doesn't, you just don't
add water and stir. You can't add water.
Well, they tried to add ginger ale so that it would go faster, and you see what happened.
What was that other thing that Married at First Sight or some stupidity that they had on?
Married at First Sight.
You met the person and then y'all going to get married. I was like, ooh, somebody, okay, y'all really going to do this?
I don't trust any production company, media company to vet who I'm supposed to marry.
Okay.
I don't trust. So again, you know what you're in for when you sign up these things. And this is what they did an interview actually today on Good Morning America. And they
with whom?
What happened?
With which one?
Who both of them. Both of them together on Good Morning America.
Okay.
And so they maintain that they still love and quote cherish each other, but they realized, this is what they say, they realized the obstacles of moving forward as husband and wife are too daunting. Oh yeah?
You're in the honeymoon. What's so
We've come to the conclusion that it's probably time to dissolve our marriage. They also said that they were nervous about how fans were going to react to the shocking news.
Okay.
And most of this was due to the inability to decide how to merge their lives. And I can kind of see that because listen, when you get married, it's not just about you anymore. As much as you may like it to be, you now have to include another person, another entity into your life and make room and space for them. And if you're used to being a bachelor or bachelorette, or you haven't been, you've been on your own for a while, it is very difficult to include somebody else in the solitude or the solitary life that you have created for yourself. Now it's not just about, oh, I'm going to such and such. Okay, well, I have to think about how X and Y, X, Y, Z.
Time out. Hold everything. Don't try nothing. You mean at 72, you don't realize that there's another person going to be in the house? You mean to tell me at 60-something, they have raised kids. They both been married before, right? I know he's been married.
Yes.
Long-term marriage. He was used to telling people where he's going.
They were both widowers, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, Fred hit it right on the head. Stuck in your ways. You want to do stuff your way. I want to do stuff my way. And we are not agreeing on how we're going to do it. It is difficult enough to okay, where we're going for dinner when you got friends trying to figure out what you want to do for dinner. Let's go to Chipotle. No, I don't want that. It's a bunch of stuff. And like you said, trying to merge two people's thinking and together, they just don't feel like dealing with it.
It's a lot, especially when you're at a certain point in your life where I don't have to deal with this and I don't want to. So another part of the decision, and a big part of the decision, was, I guess, deciding how to merge your lives in terms of living, because Teresa Niss lives in Jersey and Jerry is from Indiana. So they were going to compromise by moving to South Carolina, but they could never reach an agreement.
How is that a compromise?
I have no idea.
She is city. She is not having South Carolina. I'm sorry.
So he says, Turner said, the thing that strikes me the most is how dedicated we are to our families. We feel like it's the best for the happiness of both of us to live apart. And that's another thing. It's like if you have kids and that type of thing, and you're very connected to your family, to uproot and move someplace else may be difficult. So there are a number of things that they probably were thinking about that I don't know why they didn't present themselves during the show. Anyway, because it's good TV and you get caught up in the rapture of love, as Anita Baker would say. I don't know.
That's like, that'll make sense in any kind of way you put it. You're taking somebody who's used to moving fast paced in a city setting and then dropping them in the middle of Indiana or South Carolina for that matter.
Exactly. Like I said, they were trying to compromise and I don't know how South Carolina is a compromise, but to them it was whatever. But I do have a question for you all. What do you think this does to the future of these types of dating/marriage intention shows?
They will continue to this is a money maker for ABC. Doesn't cost them anything. And they get tons of ratings off of it. It will continue.
And some people just like to watch train wrecks. Personally, I do not watch it.
You know, how long has the Bachelor series been on ABC?
It's been
my gosh, I don't know, but it's well over maybe 15 years at this point. Okay.
So ABC knows that this works for them. It's right, drama and mess. The expenses on the show is not as much as if they did a sitcom, or because they have to pay the actors and so this is low cost compared to that. They'll keep churning this out. I expect to see more types of Bachelor.
This is the same as Big Brother on CBS. I'm like, why are you still on? Because people like
rating and it's low cost.
And this is the funny thing in my head. I'm like, I don't know how much longer XYZ. One thing with reality franchises, they have stood the test of time. If you look at most of the shows that are on still, many of them, Real Housewives is at this point, I think it is 15 years, right?
Really?
Or more.
They're still on.
Or more. For Real Housewives franchise.
Princess Survivor. Yes.
Survivor. Yes. So reality competition, those shows last.
And they have a built-in audience.
They do.
It's baked in. They don't have to do anything. It's formulaic. All the Survivor, like Fred said, all they got to do is drop in a new location and new people.
Exactly. All you need is one antagonist who's going to throw a rock and start everything every time, and you're good. And you're always looking for that antagonist, right? And so it's just a rotating cast of
and the audience is salivating for the next cohort. And it could be summer, it could be winter. They're loving it. The networks love it.
Oh, it's ratings gold. If there was forget gold. Ratings platinum, ratings titanium.
It's the goose that keeps laying an egg.
The golden eggs or the platinum eggs. Yeah, absolutely. So
as long as they got people watching, they will make these shows.
You're absolutely correct. I 100% agree with that. And reality has proven to be very profitable because, like you said, the reality doesn't require very much production cost.
Media is a business. It's show business.
Exactly. It is show business. And it's not show friends.
It's going to be made.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't make money, you won't see it.
And as such, there have been there have been things that have been questionable on some reality shows that things let slide. Nothing ever gets done about any of these things because it's good TV. So we're just going to let this slide.
Good TV.
For TV, for the good of the show, for the good of the franchise. So, okay, so we have our answer. The Golden Bachelor.
Well, I'm sorry, Fred had a comment. I'm sorry.
Oh,
President, I can see a show about the man who married the two-headed woman who also added another guy named.
Yes, because that's the thing. What happens when she
head of household, gasoline drawers, Fred.
That's the thing that they're bringing up on online is that what happens when she falls in love with somebody, the other twin.
I mean, not to be, because this is also a medical thing too.
Yes.
Because they share one body. This is the case because one thing happens that if unfortunately one passes away, they both pass away. That's what because I don't know if they're, to the extent if they're sharing the same heart, if they have one body, but sometimes they have conjoined twins.
They went into details. I don't think they share the same heart, but they do have the lower you go, the more they share. I think
more organs.
Okay.
I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the unfortunate thing.
This has been fascinating. I mean, like you said, it's it is something medical and whatever. These are real people's lives, but it's just been like fascinating the way that social media has taken off with this, because they asked the questions and then they came out. The two sisters came out and answered them. Like, so that just put more fuel on the fire of them talking about it. Which goes
interesting
about the show.
It's interesting, and I think everybody deserves happiness. So I think it is, it's short-sighted to say, "Oh, well, they should never get." No, they're human, and they are two separate people. They share the same body, so it will be.
You know what we're talking about? I think Terry doesn't know what we're talking. You know what we're talking about?
No, but I'm getting the drift.
Oh, the conjoined twins that one of them got married. Now they have one body. They do have some separate organs, but they have two heads.
Yes.
So
one of them married.
One of them got married. So it's interesting because it's like there's no separation or getting away from that. All y'all got married. How about that?
Yes.
Yeah. Abby and Brittany Hensel. It's been a social media thing for a while.
I would think so.
So it kind of blew up online that they were asking all these questions about different things, because they got one of them got married, so they wanted to know what the other one would do. So you can take it from there.
Yeah. Oh, wait, Fred has a comment. He says it is rumored that there's another guy.
What?
Oh, that's nice.
So that's why you were saying about the show. Yeah. So this would. Getting into reality TV, this would be like, because there's an interest. If there's interest in Risa Tisa, there's interest in this.
They're already knocking on their door. Plural, their door.
Yeah, because of the buzz, this social media buzz. That's how I know about it. And I'm like, what the heck? But the last 2 weeks, this has been the thing. So Fred is correct. The show will blow up.
Yeah, it really would. It really would. But here's the thing: it has to go beyond the quote novelty, and I don't mean disrespect by that, but it has to go beyond the novelty of them being conjoined twins, being married. They have to have, there has to be something there.
Something about their lives and the things that they're doing. Because what I'm saying is there's an interest.
There is an interest, exactly.
That's where they go. Risa Tisa, interest. She's now rep by CAA and doing all these things. So these people.
I'm waiting for her first project to come out. I'm her first fan. I will.
So this is what's happening. A lot of people who produce shows and things like this, they're on social media listening to the buzz. That's why it's important to use it for your business. Buzz. You have to listen to the buzz. What's going on? How can I, as a business owner, connect to it in a way that's going to benefit my business?
Absolutely.
Now, the conjoined twin story is not going to connect with everybody.
No.
And if you got something that goes with it, try your best. But be what is it? Be
oh my gosh.
Be careful about how you be I can't think of the word that I want to say. Considerate.
Yeah,
these are real people.
They're real people. That's with any reality show. So Fred, yes, I remember I was super little, but all I remember is that would come on and they would say, "That's incredible." My
I remember that.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
I love that show. Well, that was the golden age of TV. Forget the 50s. The 80s was the golden age of TV.
The 80s was it for everything. Music, movies, everything. The 80s. Okay, but we here we go. Fred says, "Call, let's go down the rabbit hole."
I digress.
I digress.
So we'll see what happens with that, and we'll also see. They're going to continue to do things, but I'm wondering how they're going to be stricter, or I shouldn't say stricter, but what they're going to do in terms of the Golden Bachelor and how they will proceed with that, because there's in a sense a lot more at stake, because when you're talking about the Golden Bachelor, these are people that are a little bit older, although 72 is not old, but these are people that are a little bit older, so there is more at stake with that type of thing. So I'm wondering how they're going to proceed there. What can you do? But it's the fact that older people got married on television, and for the first time the spotlight was on boomers instead of like Gen Z. Gen X, forget us. They just said, you all don't matter. So for the first time we have that that spotlight really there. I think that there is something there. I think they want to continue. I just wonder how they're going to proceed forward.
Right. And see that real quick, this show being a hit and everything shows that there's a treasure trove of content with the boomers.
Right.
You think by ARP.
Yeah. Sorry. Oh, well, who wants to watch a 75-year-old man do The Bachelor? Well, a bunch of people.
They do.
That age group. Yeah, sponsored by AARP.
Because they're the ones who watch TV. Listen, ABC is smart. It's not, I don't want a show necessarily with Gen Zers or us budding Gen Alpha, because they don't watch TV. So we're not going to get, and the people who do watch TV don't want to see them. I want to see somebody that looks like me, that age, that Golden Bachelor age. They're the ones who watch TV.
If they were smart, they would do a reboot of the Golden Girls, but it would have to be good.
Listen, no, don't touch it. Don't.
But no, not a reboot. Like it would have like the grandchildren of or something. Not touching.
No, they would be corny. I'm sorry. I already know. I already know they would mess it up. People don't know how to do reboots or reimaginings well.
I know.
They would mess it up completely. Let's just leave the Golden Girl. What I do love, though, is all the things that have happened. Like there have been these pop-ups here in Miami. I don't know if it traveled around, but here in Miami, they had a Golden Girls pop-up where it was like a restaurant that was set up like a kitchen. They have the living room. It's like a whole Golden Girls experience, and you can buy tickets for it. I love the Golden Girls. I love them. So I was like, I haven't gone yet, but I would be all in for that. So I think
it's in Los Angeles too.
That's what I thought. In
Los
Angeles,
they tried to reboot the plane. Something
They did. Fantasy Island. I watched it. It starred Rosalind Sanchez, who was supposed to be the daughter of
the niece. It was his niece.
The niece. Yes, the niece. Exactly. So I watched it, but I was like, this is just a little bit too magical Negro for me.
It was real. Okay, see, I thought it was just me. It wasn't Fantasy Island like Fantasy Island. They went through the whole.
Stick to the theme.
It's a different era. It was Fantasy Island back then. Was like, okay, wasn't a lot of fantasies getting fulfilled back then of this and that and the other, but we're in 2024 where a lot of people are doing things that they couldn't do before, so it's not such a inconceivable dreamish thing, pie in the sky. So that's why it doesn't work.
Yeah, like she wasn't she okay, anyway, it was doing too much.
Yeah, it was. And remember, but I digress, and then you have to take a step.
I digress.
So with here's the thing also, if you remember with Fantasy Island and The Love Boat, those were shows where stars would go to reinvigorate careers because things were not going that well.
Yes, so like going to Vegas, used to be going to Vegas was like, okay, that's the death of your career, where it's not today.
Today, you're listen. You know how much money Usher made in Vegas.
All of them. But
all that you want
doing a Vegas show was like you were at the end of your career, like you were, put out the passion. Where is it now?
Exactly. And speaking of which, Carlos Finas is in Vegas for NAB.
Carlos.
NAB starts tomorrow. This is a huge coffee mug. It says "big as my head." So, um, so I need tea. I need a lot of tea. Yeah. So he is in Vegas. NAB, the National Association of Broadcasters show is happening. I was supposed to go, but launching this whole network thing, I'm like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do it this year. But next year, I will be there with bells on. It is like my favorite convention in the world, and I do have a story on that. So, and Carlos, if you have some anecdotes of what's happening, because today I think is tomorrow is the first day, I think.
Okay.
And then it goes through next week.
Are you live streaming, Carlos? Are you live streaming?
Carlos, if you don't live stream
your on your profile like you used to,
we can bring that in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You know what, Carlos, if you've got this is something that we should have talked about before, but if you've got something that you want me to broadcast from NAB, let me know.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know I know you're probably going to be busy on the show floor, but if you have a minute, call me, and if there's something, you just get it to me, and we'll do some snippets. In fact, you could report for your thing live from where you are. Give it to me, and I will run it. Let's chat, sir. Let's chat.
Yes,
absolutely. So yeah, man. You see, this is the beauty of doing these things. Doing your own things. Because Carlos has his own thing going on as well. So I will give you some more NAB news in just a moment. But this has been very interesting talking about this whole thing. We always go down these rabbit holes. Look, we need some T-shirts with sayings on that. Who asked for this? I digress. And rabbit hole. Have your people talk to you. I am my people, so yeah, just call me. Okay, I'm not big time yet. I am my people.
Have your people call my people.
Oh, Blackmagic is live now with a new cinema camera. Oh my goodness. So for those of you that don't know, this is actually really cool. Blackmagic makes things like camera. They make switchers. The way which is terrible, and I shouldn't admit this, I'm just using my laptop camera, which I never do. I always set up my real camera. I'm using my real mic, but the laptop camera, but I always use my, the camera that I shoot video with. I hook it up to the ATEM Mini Pro. Mine is a little bit older. I got it during the pandemic, like in 2020. So it's about 4 years that I've had it now. But that allows you to use your regular mirrorless or DSLR camera and go live and have the same beautiful quality that you would when you're shooting video or film. So Blackmagic makes that. They have really revolutionized a lot of great cameras, 4K cameras, 8K cameras. And DaVinci Resolve. See, we could get into the technical weeds, so I won't. I will back up and come back into what I was talking about earlier. But so let's talk about VidCon next. Do you guys know VidCon? Okay, so if you don't know VidCon out there, that is basically like an not just influencer, but video creators. This is where they all descend upon Los Angeles, and it's like a conference for video creators. In the past, VidCon was put on by different entities, but lately Paramount Global owns VidCon. Well, it looks like they're considering selling VidCon.
No.
Yes. So they're it seems to be in the early stages of discussion. Yeah, we don't know an exact price of how much VidCon would be, but this would actually allow, if they sold VidCon, Paramount would be able to reinvest that money in its core business, right? We already know that they have not been profitable with Paramount Plus. I wonder why. Okay, let me stop being facetious. I'm sorry. God is still working with me. But I wonder why. Is it because you don't have, listen, to be profitable? And here's the thing that we're running up against. It's not just Paramount Plus. All of these streamers, a lot of these streamers are letting go of staff, cutting boards. And all of this came because every single last one of them was trying to compete with who?
Mr. Beast?
No, Netflix.
Oh, Netflix. Yes,
Netflix. They are the original streamer. Okay. Netflix is the original streamer. When everybody else was laughing, they'll never succeed. When they were all laughing and, clinking champagne glasses.
Here
Netflix
was sending out those red envelopes.
Yes.
Remember those days?
Yes. The red envelopes, and we were all, like I said, I still have one that I need to send back.
You still got one?
I do. I still have it. And I've only, because it fell behind my console, and when I got a new one, I said, "Oh, I still have it," but nobody has said anything to me about it. So, finders keepers, it's mine now. I don't even know what movie it is.
So, what you should do is take it and put it in a what is the box? The
time capsule?
No, the box that you put something in to put it on your wall. The
frame it. Frame it.
Yeah, the
light box.
Oh,
put it in a little box and put it on the wall, and people will come by. What's that?
But you know what? I'm definitely going to keep it because I don't have, you don't usually have any red envelopes left because you're sending it back.
Who do you turn it in? I mean, this.
At this point, I don't think they care. Most of their core business is streaming anyway, so I don't think they care at this point.
They have discontinued the part where you send the videos in and out. They discontinued that a couple of years ago.
Well, here I go. I still have one. So, and I'm like, I'm not throwing
it. A library card that you don't need no more.
Tell me about it, because you could get everything online. So with back to VidCon, out of our rabbit hole, it's interesting. Like I said, it's in the early stages. This would allow them to reinvest back in their core business. Now, the first VidCon took place in 2010. I don't know if you all remember that. And the co-founders are Hank and John Green, their brother, the Vlog Brothers on YouTube. I don't know if they still do YouTube stuff, but anyway, they founded it, and it was a place for video creators to really get together. So it was really primarily very much YouTube and other video creators as well, but YouTube was more of the place where video creation took place. In recent years, it had turned to a lot of TikTok creators because TikTok was getting big. But I think that they've kind of shifted, and it's definitely all creators, but I think the YouTube is really gaining more wings because of shorts and things, and they're really the only ones that have, I'm not going to say a decent payout, but they have a payout program where they are actually paying creators, although it may be pittance. And I wouldn't quit your job over it for most people, but they do have a creator program like that. So does TikTok, but So in any case, that is that. VidCon, Paramount may be selling VidCon, in case you were interested. Okay. All right, let's keep going. We have an NAB story. NAB is expecting up to 70,000 attendees and nearly 13,000 exhibitors for this year's show where Carlos is.
Wow.
So there are going to be some hot topics there. AI, of course, is going to be a hot topic. That's why I wish I was there. Oh my goodness. I wish I was going to be there. But AI is going to be a big topic. Content creation, streaming, of course, and next gen TV. So if you're there, Carlos, I'm sure you're seeing all of this, but these are really expected to be some core things discussed, and you're going to see all these exhibitors. In fact, if any of you, every year I give you all a code to go to the NAB show so you could go to the exhibits part for free. There you go. Oh, is this This is VidCon.
Yes.
Okay, that's for VidCon. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And so, but NAB, if anybody is in the Vegas area or can get there, like maybe you're nearby in California or someplace else in Nevada, and you want to drive over, you can't, I don't know if I still have, I have to look and see if I still have a code, and then I'll share it with you all. But I always have codes, and you can go for free. And even if you don't have a free code, you can, it's $50 if you want to go to the, and to the show floor. Now that doesn't always include, it doesn't include things out off of the show floor, but you do get to see like all of the really cool exhibits. They do have some sessions on the show floor. You're talking about like miles of the Vegas Convention Center is huge. So that is like miles of everything. They have all sorts of pavilions. Like they have usually an entire drone pavilion. They have where all the cameras are, where you can play around with them and see I mean, it's very, very cool. They have education sessions. They have, because it's not just about the technology, it's also an entertainment conference. So you often will have a lot of celebrities that will come by there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyone got change for $20 for Big God? Goodness gracious, that's hilarious. Who's a Facebook user? But hey, just want some AI might read technology. Is that Carlos?
It might be Carlos.
I'm okay.
Not sure.
Mm-hmm. It has to be him.
It's massive. Wear some tennis shoes.
Yes, it's huge. Wear sneakers only. That is not the time to be cute. Now, I do have a cute outfit on top usually, and then I match my sneakers to it. But shoes, Vegas never sees shoes from me when I go for that. So lots of things going on there.
Carlos.
Yeah, absolutely. So one last thing about that, NAB Global Connections and Events Senior Vice President says this, as the chair, Eric Trabb says, as the place for all things broadcast, media, and entertainment, exhibitors at this year's NAB show are bringing their A game as they debut and showcase new tech that promises to revolutionize the content creation, distribution, and consumption games. Now, here's the thing. So if you're interested in that, you can Google NAB show. And by the way, if you go to the website, the NAB show, they give you during the conference itself, or the convention itself, they give you updates. So you get updated with what happened at the NAB show today, what debuted. So anything new that debuts, most people wait till the NAB show. Now there are 2 NAB shows. New York, which is done usually in December. And then they have the show in April in Vegas. Now, the show in April is bigger because in New York, the only place to do it is the Jacob Javits Center. So, and that's huge, but it's not Vegas huge. So you have your pick. If you can't do the April one, but you can get to New York. Okay, so Carlos, I think it is, does both. Yeah, it is Carlos. Okay, so Carlos does both. And I have done both in the past before, but generally because I'm like, well, you live in New York, but I'm like, if I'm going to travel, I decide which one I'm going to do. And this is why you never see me usually at CES or South by Southwest, because to me, and those are all great, but to me, the more valuable one for what I'm doing is NAB. So when it comes to conferences and things like that, figure out ways that you could go for free. Obviously, I go as press a lot of times, and then I don't have to pay because I get a press pass. And that's something, if you have a publication or you have a media outlet, that you can actually do, which is why I encourage people to vlog or to blog and actually do it seriously so you can get entrance into all of these things. But sometimes I don't feel like reporting and having a product I have to have due to do that. And then that's the way that you can figure out other ways to go as well. So we're at time, so I'm going to stop there.
All right. Dr. Taji, thank you for sharing. We have had fun today. And we are looking forward to all of us coming back next week and sharing some more good things from the world of tech and media and social media. And if you'd like to become a part of the BizChicks community, you can do that by texting biz to 33777, or you can go to bizchicks.net. And be sure to follow any of the BizChicks here, Terry Johnson at Terry Johnson Online. terryjohnsononline.info or /info, terryjohnsononline.com/info. And
do you want to talk about your show on Indie Soup? I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, we was about ready to talk about Indie Soup.
Well, your show specifically.
Yes, Terry Johnson's show is on Indie Soup.
TV.
Yay. So we need to make sure that you join up there, Dr. Tachi's show or Dr. Tachi's network. It's more than a show. IndieSoupMedia.tv. It's a network. Has some very good programming and programmers there. Please reach out.
You'll see us all of us you'll see there.
Yes, at various times, and some new people that you can connect with as well. It is a really good. It's good that people that we know are you wanted something good to watch and bring insightful content for you that you can use, help you take the hassle out of your hustle. This is it. IndieSoupMedia.tv. Make sure you check it out. Terry or TJ or Dr. Tachi, any final words before we head off? And I was going to say the sunset.
Thank you for watching. Have a good weekend.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Have a great time at the conference.
Yeah. And maybe we can do some, correspondence like Carlos said. We'll look for the Dr. Tachi and Carlos to do that. Yeah, we're going to have a shirt that says it. We're going to work on some.
Make sure you go and check out Indie Soup Media on Instagram, everywhere, YouTube. That's where you're going to find it. What's going on?
Woohoo! All right, everybody. Looking forward to talking to you next week. Thank you so much. Enjoy your trust in the weather is great wherever you are. Go out and play.
Yes.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.